in there. Do the Chiefs have enough good talent under the age of 25? Are they behind where they should be as far as it comes for the young talent? And I would say a little bit. A little bit because, one, I think, or maybe they're on pace. I'd say they're on pace. If they're at 16, they're average, right? So I guess they're on pace. And last year was the first year they had a premium pick. I think this is one, and we may see this theme more and more. I know Seth Walder, when we talk about the offseason, understood, got, and graded highly the trade for Trent McDuffie, but wasn't as big on the trade up. So we'll get into the trade up for Mansour Delane, I should say, and the extra picks that went there. I do wonder how they would look if they had their what was it? They moved 3
total picks for him.
Yeah, 1, 3, and 5, I think. So if they had another third, yeah, because it was a top 100 pick. So it was 3. It was like 78.
Third and the fifth.
Yeah, third and the fifth.
And then the number 9 overall.
I don't know that the fifth would have cracked it, but with a third-round pick, if you're going to put Ashton Gelati on the list here, I think a third-round pick may have cracked this list, and that may have pushed them up a little bit if they'd had that pick. But I do like the fact that Mansour Delane's there. Makes me feel like, okay, they believe in the talent, that they're putting him on there. And I like the fact that Peter Woods, I'd forgotten how young he is. He's got a chance to be on this list for a few years. Think about it. George Karlaftis was on this list through the year that he signed an extension. He didn't get the big money coming in. But for 4 years, he remained under 25. And I'm going to tell you, the Chiefs graded really highly on this a number of times leading up to their championship runs. Right? Patrick Mahomes early on was on this list. Tyreek Hill was on this list.
Creed Humphrey was always there.
Creed Humphrey was on this list. I think Trey Smith cracked it at least once, maybe in his second or third year. He was still under 25. He made this list. I think Chris Jones got on this list in like his third year. Chris Jones was young as well when he was drafted. The Chiefs love drafting the young players. Trent McDuffie made this list. So it's a list that carries some weight when you consider when they've had their share of players on this, they turned it into success. And I think it is, a testament to what you want to be as a football team is that you have to keep ranking, you have to keep loading up with young talent. By the way, the top of the list, New England Patriots, their blue chippers, Will Campbell, Christian Gonzalez, and Drake May, having the quarterback there and the corner helps. 2, Houston Texans, Will Anderson, Ursery, ever heard of him? Kansas City kid. At tackle, they've included him on here, Kamari Lassiter and C.J. Stroud. The Bears,
huh?
Yeah, they got C.J. Stroud on here. That's a bit of a reach, but the Bears, they've got Colston Loveland, Rome Odunze, and Caleb Williams. Noticing the trend of having the quarterback on this list.
No Luther Burden there.
No, I would have. Luther Burden might be 25 now. Let's see here. Odunze is 24, while Luther Burden and Loveland are still just 22. So he is mentioned in the write-up.
Honorable mention type, okay.
Yeah, honorable mention type. Browns are 4 with Harold Fannin, Spencer Fano, Mason Graham, and Carson Schlesinger. And the Titans are number 5. Carnell Tate, Cam Ward are their blue chippers. I will point out Titans have been bad, Browns have been bad, Bears have been bad until this past year. Texans have been pretty good for a little bit, but the heart of what they have on there, Ursery's the only one that they've drafted since they've been good. All the other guys were guys that were high picks when they were terrible. The Patriots, same deal. This year's draft is the first draft they've drafted from a high position. So, look, we'll talk to Seth Walder coming up next about the offseason and about the roster construction, but this is another one of the notables. And what needs to happen for the Chiefs to have real success here moving forward is they need a couple of these guys that are down here that he's mentioning, the R. Mason Thomas, the Noel Williams, Ashton Gelati, Peter Woods. They've got some guys that have an opportunity this year. They're probably going to play. They're going to get time, snaps. The question is, can they move up and be some of those blue chippers? Then we'll feel a lot better about where the Chiefs are moving forward. Let's take a break. We'll talk to Seth Walder from ESPN. I want to leave him plenty of time. Always enjoy the conversation. Seth Walder joins us next here in the program. program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB as we talk some NFL football. We turn to ESPN's NFL analyst, a man who knows the analytics. Seth Walder joins us here in the program. Seth, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. I like this time of year. I know people are getting antsy and they want real football, which they're not going to get. They're going to get practices for a few weeks. But at least we'll have the teams and we'll have players talking and we'll have coaches talking and we'll have some stuff that we can wrap our arms around. I actually really enjoy this time of year when we get the kind of breakdowns that you've been doing, talking about the offseason, the best rosters and those kind of things. We appreciate you giving us some time because we want to dig into it. Let's talk about what you gave their offseason, a C+. Why a C+ for the Kansas City Chiefs on their offseason?
Well, it's a mixed bag. I think there's some good and some moves I didn't like. I want to be clear. When I do these offseason grades, I'm evaluating the decision. So it's not about the quantity of talent added or talent lost. I'm saying, did they make good team-building decisions? The biggest move they made was one I was a fan of, the Trent McDuffie trade. I think that it stings to lose a corner as good as McDuffie. I'm a big McDuffie believer. I think he's very consistently good, and it hurts. But the value that they got back, I just don't think you can turn down. When the consideration is, if you think about it from the Rams' perspective, they gave up serious draft capital for the right to pay market price to Trent McDuffie. And that hard sell, I think. There's times when you could justify it. The Rams are probably in one of those times where you can maybe most justify it for a limited window. But for the Chiefs, they have to prioritize. They have to figure out how to prioritize. They're a team that's like tight up against the cap. They have a long window, and then they've had a lot of success being able to replace corners and take mid-round picks and have them play really well under Steve Spagnuolo. And so I just think from a team-building standpoint, as much as it hurts to lose Watson and McDuffie, it did make sense. Now, what I didn't understand as much was coming right back and then trading up for Mansour Deline. So you're I always felt like Kansas City had this advantage with Spagnuolo where they could, take a mid-round corner and then turn him into a star. But you're not doing that as much when you take a guy like Delaney. Now, I wouldn't have had that much of an issue if they hadn't traded up for him, but the trade up really stings. I know it doesn't feel like it, but that draft capital loss was pretty serious. And I don't know that it was a guarantee that he wasn't going to be there at 9-2. So there's some chance he gave up picks for nothing. I'm going to keep going, but why don't you do you want me to let you cut in here?
Well, let's stay on that. Yeah, thank you, and let's stay on that because I do think it is absolutely an accurate breakdown. Right. And I listen, I love the trade of McDuffie. I don't love losing McDuffie, but the price,
right.
I think what we're here in Kansas City where we would add on to what you said and build on it where we would agree with it. We'll get to the Delane part. And I don't know that I necessarily even disagree with that either. But on the McDuffie part, I think the part that is hard for Chiefs fans is that they look at it and go, well, if we didn't have the highest paid guard, the highest paid center, the third highest paid middle linebacker, they look at the Chiefs, to me, finally had to pay the bill. Like, I think people would like to unwind and say, you know what, let Trey Smith go, find a guard, and have that money that money would have covered Trent McDuffie. And they say, well, that would have been a better way to do it. Now somebody has to want to sign. Did Trent McDuffie make it clear that he wanted to get back to the West Coast? We don't know what all else was involved there. We know some of the elements. I don't think that was the case. They love Trent McDuffie, but they really cornered themselves and they had to do this. Yeah. So to that point, I'm with you. They made a great trade. And the Rams made it pretty easy because they accumulate draft capital. The Rams are like, hey, we're probably, if we didn't do this, would anybody else? And I think one of the reasons why that deal happened so fast is the Chiefs are like, I don't know that anybody else will do this, and we need this draft capital, and we got to get this money off our books. So I'm in total agreement. They, based on where they put themselves, they played the McDuffie thing perfectly because of their ability to develop corners. And I am with you. I would like to have seen them say, look, it's going to be hard to walk away on Mansour Lane. We really want him. If he falls to 9, great. If he doesn't, we're going to pivot. The question is, could you have traded down? Could you have accumulated the picks? Could you have found 2 corners in the second and third round to make up for what you're losing in Mansour Lane? I mean, I think there's no doubt that we are going to grade this draft on Mansour Lane being a Pro Bowler, at minimum a Pro Bowler. If he's not, then they blew it. There's always multi. I remember when they traded Jared Allen, I said, listen, there are 3 parts to this story. 1, how'd you get sideways with your star? 2, what'd you get for him as far as the picks? And then 3, what'd you do with it? And so I think they didn't get sideways, but we can look back and say, well, how'd you get to this point? Okay, let's stop paying interior offensive linemen, multiple ones of them, all kinds of money. That's the lesson that should be learned there. And then, okay, what we get for him? I think the return was as good as you could get. What they do with the picks, I'm with you. They have to be right. You're in the get it right business. This is a lot, and I would rather have seen them take even a discounted trade down, accumulate more picks. Don't give up these picks. Throw more numbers at it. Take 2 corners in those first 5 picks, a second rounder or at 30. I would have had them do it differently, so I don't mind them being dinged a little bit on that grade. For that part, I think it's fair. I know what they believe in Mansour Lane. They think he's the guy. So if they're right, I was told by people in the Chiefs organization before Patrick Mahomes became the starter after they drafted him, I said, you're getting criticized for this. They're like, look, if we're right, no one will ever even remember what we traded for him.
That is a red flag. Every time you hear someone say that, that's a red flag.
Well, they didn't say it about Mansour Lane. I want to be clear. They said it about Patrick Mahomes, and they delivered. They got it right. And so in that case,
of course,
it's okay. I have not heard that. I've heard, reasons for why they did it. Yeah, but I'm with you. And it was. Listen, I couldn't write it down fast enough when it was said to me. I'm like, okay, you're going to live by this, and they have, and they've delivered the goods, and they deserve, some confidence in what they've done. It, but this is a different kind of deal, and I don't mind. I think it's a fair assessment to not love how they. I will say this: I do believe to get Mansour Lane, they had to trade up. I think the Cowboys, Cleveland was moving out of 6, and I think the Cowboys were going to go up, and that's the player they were going to take. So I do think if you are all in on Mansour Lane, you had to go up to get him. But the question is, should you have been all in on Mansour Lane? And they deserve a ding for that, I think.
Right. And so, and I will say, just trading up for a quarterback is a totally different game. And I promise you, if we were talking about a trade up for a guy who didn't pan out, I would still say the same thing. And the question is, when you trade up for a non-quarterback, what you do often hear is, well, they had their guy, they wanted their guy. And to that, I always say, do you think all the teams that traded up in the past, they didn't really like that guy that they traded up for? No, that was their guy, and we know the history of that doesn't pan out as worth it. And so, it being your guy, you feeling conviction is not enough. Teams always feel conviction about the players that they trade up for. But it may well work out, of course, like you said. I think, the other thing, there's a couple other things with Kansas City's offseason. Like, this might seem a small thing, especially now. Time has passed since I've written this, and Mahomes seems like he's on a better trajectory than we might have guessed a few months ago. But I thought Justin Fields as the backup option to me was a lackluster choice. I think that given Mahomes coming off the injury, I felt like Marcus Mariota was perfect right there. It's not that much money that you would have needed to get him, and I would much rather have Mariota starting for you, whether it's in week 1 or whether it's Mahomes gets dinged up for a couple games in the middle of the season. To me, Fields gives you a really low floor for a team that doesn't want a low floor at backup quarterback. And it's a guy that you're hoping doesn't play at all, but backup quarterback matters quite a bit, and you don't have to pay that much to get a good one.
Yeah, so let me ask you this. Who is the guy you get? Because I think they were blown away by Gardner Minshew getting $7 million. I think they would have re-upped Gardner Minshew, but he got $7 million.
Mariota's the one I want.
Yeah. And I'm with you. And Marcus Mariota, I love the idea of getting him and buying low. I do think the Chiefs have missed, and we'll get to the running back part of the equation. 2 years ago, running backs were going for $2.5 million a year. 1 year, $2.5 million deals for Javonte Williams down to Dallas. And I was like, I think you got to top that one. J.K. Dobbins was available around that price range, and instead they took Elijah Mitchell. I'm like, go 3 or 4 on these guys that have been much more productive and you'd have been in a better spot. I think it's kind of that way on the quarterbacks as well. I would love to have seen Marcus Mariota in the hands of Andy Reid, but now he's established himself where he's a $7 or $8 million guy. And I would say, I'm with you, but I think we're critiquing what they've done in the past, which is hamstrung what they had to do now. I think they felt like we got to get better at running back, and that squeezed them, and Fields was the best they could do. The fact that he would take $3 million is as much the reason he's here as it is who he is. It's not that it's like, we want Fields. Fields will play for $3. Okay, let's get him.
Totally. And that is so I agree with you in framing it that way, but that's a choice that I would disagree with. It's saying, like, to me, backup quarterback is more important for this team than running back. And I acknowledge the running back situation has been a problem, and they did need to get better. And I don't think that, look, when you pay for even Kenneth Walker, it's not that much money. I can get that. I still don't think it's worth it. I think that you can find that play, even though they've struggled to find a player of that caliber. I think you can do it for cheaper, probably in the draft. And I just don't. He's an upgrade. Look, Walker is an upgrade, and they did need that. I just think I would rather have spent the money at backup quarterback. I know that sounds sort of crazy, but that is where I would go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think that's interesting because, like, let's say 7 gets him Marcus Mariota because he wants to come play for Andy Reid and sees the path, and okay, this could be restarts my career, and they get him for 7. Then they've got him, no running back. They don't have Kenneth Walker. They have $7 million to splash around somewhere else, maybe to chase. Tyler Algiers was my guy, and I think he got about $7 million. So, like, if you ask me, would I rather have Tyler Algiers and Marcus Mariota if I could get them at those prices? If you don't have to top it, and usually you do, but if you didn't, and I had those two instead of Kenneth Walker, would I like that plan better? Yes, I agree. I mean, that's the route I would have taken. So I think when you couple it together, the fact that you paid so much for Kenneth Walker, which has boxed you in on Fields, I mean, I think there was potentially a better path. Again, and it's why I think the Chiefs need to be better on their cap to be in a position if you had to go 8-8 with them or 9-8 and you spend 17 instead of 14, which they actually ended up spending 17, 14-3. If you get those two for 17, I think that would have been a better path. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, I agree. Well, you know what? It's funny, when I was talking, I had forgotten that Walker was 14. I was sort of imagining it's a couple million lower than that. And I think that's a hard sell to me as being the guy that can make as big of an impact. Seren, what do you think about receiver? I'm curious where because I think on one hand, you feel like, okay, well, if you can get these guys back healthy, then maybe they're in better shape. On the other hand, it's like, we've talked about this as being not the group that they need, and you kind of, you haven't made a lot of improvements at receiver. So how are people there feeling about wide receiver?
Well, by the way, we're talking to Seth Walder. Does a great job as an analyst for ESPN covering the NFL, and he's got great stuff out there. And we're going to transition into the number 12 roster. That's where the Chiefs roster was ranked C+ in the offseason grades, and I'm terrified. The short answer is I'm terrified at wide receiver. Now, I will preface that by saying, when you pay your quarterback as much as they pay their quarterback, the roster is never going to be complete. There's always going to be some spot on your roster where you're trying to cover things up. And so it just is. You can't, in a cap world, you can't pay a great quarterback, what he's worth, and stock your roster. The Rams are the best example of doing it. I think the Rams have done a better job stocking their roster. They've done it by trading down and accumulating picks and then saying, okay, now we've got a bunch of picks. Let's go fire for proven players. And they've done an amazing job. I'll say that. They've done a better job than the Chiefs. They've also got a quarterback that's older. Right now he's healthier, which may change because we know he had back problems going in. But I do think that the receiver spot is the glaring one that I think they would love to have addressed higher. But they've given up I think 52% of the snaps played, Juju Smith-Schuster played 52% of the offensive snaps last year, and Hollywood Brown played 50%. I'm not longing for them to be back. I'm simply pointing out that no major improvement was made to that position other than to re-sign Tyquan Thornton, who was there, and this organization still chose. I mean, it's kind of like Jalen Moore. Well, thank God Jawan Taylor's gone. Yes, but this is the coaching staff that said Jawan Taylor's better than Jalen Moore, and they played Jawan Taylor. So this is the coaching staff that said we're better with Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster out there. Now they're gone, and now you're going to play the guys that they last year didn't think were as good as the guys that they've walked away from, and that the league, by the way, said aren't worth a whole lot anyway with what they ended up signing for. So, yes, short answer, I'm terrified. Rashee Rice is completely undependable and was trying to rehab a knee while in jail. Just that sentence right there. Who's your number one wideout? He's the guy that was trying to rehab his knee in jail. If that doesn't send shivers down your spine, you've lost your mind as a personnel guy, right?
Yeah. I just don't think he could be awesome. Like, I know it's great. Like, I mean, it's like the thing about the Chiefs receivers is you can imagine a world where it works out really well, right? Like,
yes.
Okay, you finally get the right season that you felt like has been there, and then Thornton can be the deep guy, and that frees up Worthy to not just be downfield guy, and maybe that could all work out. But it is far from a guarantee. I like the, it's funny. I was thinking about it when you said, talking about Mahomes or just paying when you have to pay up for a quarterback or pay up for a few stars, the holes that leaves you in it. It does. I think that is kind of indicative of the Chiefs roster where you can see it breaking right, but there's a lot of places where there are questions, right? I understand that you can imagine it going right at tackle, but there's questions. I think that we're talking about corner. They invested in a rookie first round pick, but so you could imagine it going right with him and Snead, but that's a question. I think second edge rusher is a question. So, you look at this roster, and I do think that there are a bunch of spots where there's just maybe some high variance.
You make a great point. I mean, I think in 22 was it was really going into the season, people were like, okay, this is kind of a rebuild year. Like, they went as far as they could. They won in 19, lost the Super Bowl in 20, blew the conference championship game against the Bengals in 21, and they said, okay, we got to reset. And then they had a great draft, and they had 5 rookie defensive backs, 3 of them that really made an impact, and Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson, and Brian Cook, ultimately over the life of that contract. But they stepped in and played right away. So I like to play the game, and I tell people, okay, look, the Chiefs are 15-2, and they're the 1 seed in the AFC. How did they get here? And the answer is our Mason Thomas is their speed edge rusher, like Nick Bonito from the Broncos.
Yeah.
You didn't see Nick Bonito in the 3rd round. I'm not saying he has to be that good, but he comes in and he provides that other guy on the side. And now with George Karlaftis and him on the edges, and now with Peter Woods. Peter Woods is an impact D tackle. He plays like the guy 2 years ago when Clemson, quote unquote, used him the right way, and he looked like a top 10 pick. He plays like that next to Chris Jones, and that front 4 can pressure without Steve Spagnuolo having to blitz everywhere. The defense gets better, even though the secondary is more vulnerable. They consistently pressure the quarterback. The defense actually gets better because the front is so much better. And they do. I will say this. They have 3 first-round picks if FAU, Felix Onyeudike-Uzomah, is healthy. And most people have written him off, and I understand. But 3 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a third-round pick invested in their defensive line, plus the most expensive defensive tackle in football. I will say this. Yeah. If that line doesn't kick ass, people lose jobs. Like they would for me.
Right.
I would tell if I were Clark Hunt, I'd be like, who are we firing? And they're like, well, what are you talking about? Well, you tell me which scouts didn't get it right. Tell me your defensive line coach can't coach, or tell me your defensive coordinator can't coordinate it. But we can't put that kind of investment in there, come up flat with no pass rush, sub 40 sacks, which they were 35 last year. We can't have that kind of investment and have it not work. I need a but. Somebody pays a price so that everyone in this building knows we don't just miss. You figure out where the problem is, tell me where it is, and then let's replace that problem. I think the D-line is going to be better and you won't be in that situation, but And then it's Rashee Rice plays like he did in his rookie year and doesn't get into trouble. Xavier Worthy makes that wide receiver leap. They did hire Chad O'Shea, who's a much better wide receiver coach than what they had. So I think they're, I can squint and see 15-2. I used to see it clearly with my eyes wide open. I got to squint a little, but, there is a path, like you said, if it all goes right.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right. And Mahomes healthy too. That would be
so
the obvious
yeah,
one.
That's the obvious one. Yes.
One you gotta bring up this. As like normally I think that's like a given for the quarterback, but he's coming off of a big injury, so it's like an extra variable.
So let me ask you. So at the wide receiver position, if they don't get it right, is that crippling? Are we going to look back and say somewhere along the line? It's that we understood no one disagrees with the Tyreek Hill move when you win 2 championships and 3 conference titles. We get it. You made that work. But somewhere along the line, they should have prioritized wide receiver more somewhere in the last couple of years.
Oh, I think that they should have. The question is like if it doesn't go the way that the squint didn't work out, can they still be great? Can they still be a contender? I think they probably can but it's going to require. I think then you're talking like, well, we need to see a little bit of Mahomes from a few years ago has got to come out. You can make it work. I mean, I think about the Patriots last year and think about what their receiver group was, and why did that work? Well, one thing was they played nobody, but the other thing that worked was that Drake May was awesome, and so I think that it can work, but it's going to require a little more. So we talked about like a whole bunch of different things, right? And I don't know that they don't need to hit on every one. They don't need the edge rusher to be great and Delane to be awesome and both tackles to be perfect and the receivers to play really well and Mahomes to be healthy. But like they need 4 out of 5 or something like that, or something like that. You can miss on one of those places and still be good, but they do need. It would be harder without the receivers being great. That's for sure.
I want to ask you about one more guy, Josh Simmons, who flashed at times, also just left. I'm curious how you factor when they're the number 12 roster. Left tackle is such an important position. How does he grade? Because I think if he's locked in and he plays 17 games and he's now another year removed from the injury, he could do football work this past offseason and not just rehab work. He did have moments. He also looked like he weighed about 270 pounds in the offseason. But he has a great punch. He has strength. You'd really like him to get to 300 pounds. I'm just curious if he would become, because he was a guy that was trending towards being the number 1 offensive tackle when he got started at Ohio State. If he would emerge as that guy that is a number 7 overall pick in the draft, caliber left tackle, and lives up to that kind of billing, how would that change your view of this roster?
I think it would be. I think Chiefs fans are very familiar with like needing pass protection and how important that is. I think I'll tell you where we had him. We had him above average in pass protection last year, just a little bit above average, and then below average in the run game. And I think that makes sense. Here's what I would say. I think Chiefs fans will like to hear. I looked at this a few years ago with offensive tackles do not, like across the board, generally do not play well as rookies. Even if you filter down to first-round picks, who played, those players on average are below average in their rookie season. And that's just what you should be expecting out of an offensive tackle. I'm not saying that there are no exceptions to that. There are. But what I mean to say is that playing like Josh Simmons did last year, I would consider is like bullish, basically, because he was okay, and that's good for a rookie tackle. There's lots of examples of guys who have been horrible and then improved to become great. So like Andrew Thomas, really bad as a rookie, ends up being one of the best tackles in the league. Larry Tunsil, we don't have metrics back then, but by all accounts wasn't great as a rookie, has become one of the best tackles in the league. So when I see a player play okay as a rookie, I think that I start to feel like quite optimistic about their career prospects, and that's sort of what I would say about them.
Yeah. Okay. Because I think that's like we said, if those draft picks hit, if they have a draft like they had in 22, and they get impact players at the positions where they drafted them, it goes a long way towards covering up. If Kenneth Walker hits, if Andy, listen, the one thing we haven't talked about that is not in your grades is Andy Reid needs to adjust. His offense needs to be better. And at 67 years old, that's my first biggest question, Patrick Mahomes' health. Second biggest question, did Andy Reid evolve in the offseason to really, because there's some fear that Kenneth Walker will just be running RPOs the same way Isaiah Pacheco did. He'll do it better, but you're not going to get the full effect of what Kenneth Walker is if they don't get Patrick Mahomes under center, and if they don't have some offense that runs out of Patrick Mahomes under center. And they need to start doing it, because even if he gets his athleticism all the way back, say, next year, it's going to erode. And so I think one of the biggest questions is one that isn't covered in either one of the pieces you did, because is Andy Reid still ahead of the curve?
I think that's fair. Obviously, they made the change at offensive coordinator, but they're going back to a familiar name in Eric Bieniemy. But of course, Reid is the most important guy there.
Exactly. All right, Seth Walder's with us. Let's get to our Final Four. I'll start you with this. What are you feeling for a record for the Chiefs? You feel free to change. I'm not holding you to this, but right now, what are you thinking they go through 17 games?
I will give them 10 wins.
10 wins, okay. 10-7. What do you got for the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl, once again, we'll call it early, but I'm feeling Packers over Chargers.
Ooh, no Rams. Packers over Chargers. I'm a big Jim Harbaugh fan, so I think at some point he's going to break through with them, so I wouldn't be shocked at that. Give me the most underrated player out there.
Okay, let me give you two players that I think are like absolutely elite, that I think are considered very good, but I think maybe should be considered as arguably the best at their position. So it'd be Joe Alt, tackle for the Chargers. I think, like, if I were betting on someone to win Protector of the Year, give me Joe Alt. I think he was basically the best offensive lineman in football last year before he got hurt, but then he got hurt. And then Quinyon Mitchell, I'll tease that I've been working on some cornerback work, player tracking stuff, and no player is popping in terms of the way that they've played, quite like Quinyon Mitchell. So I think that's
okay. Those are good ones.
I'll go with them.
Yeah.
Those are not like crazy. Everybody agrees those players are good.
Yeah, but I asked for underrated, and that fits the bill. They're even better than what people are realizing, and we like that.
And I'm buying. I'm a long time A.D. Mitchell fan. I'm buying the hype on A.D. Mitchell. The Jets wide receiver is a guy who gets open downfield, and I think it's one of these times it's gonna all click for him. So that's more of an underrated guy.
Okay, I like that. And then give me the overrated.
Overrated will be. I mean, let me just say this, okay? Because I've gone back and forth on this guy a little bit, but Sam Darnold, some of the dialogue is out of control. I mean, he's not a top 10 quarterback. I know they just won the Super Bowl, but be real. Now, he played like a top 10 quarterback for the first half of last year, but he played incredibly. But if you look at then in the second half of the regular season, he was horrible, and then pretty good, and then good in the playoffs. But I don't think.
I'm with you.
He's not a top 10 guy.
I'm with you.
I think we gotta be smarter than that.
Every now and then, Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson win a championship. It doesn't put them to the top of the list. Yeah, 100%.
We have a long body of work, and he was middle of the road in QBR last year, just like he was the year before.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that's with Shanahan McVay system quarterback or systems. Which tend to, help your numbers and play for good coaches, and he's not a top 10 guy.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. You're a top 10 guy though, Seth. We always love our conversation with you, buddy. You're the best. We appreciate it. Keep up the great work. We'll talk to you down the road.
All right, I'll see you later.
The Pro All right, thanks to Seth Walder joining us in our last segment. Always enjoy the conversation with Seth. Bright guy, gets to the bottom of things. I love how inquisitive he is about things. But number 16, or excuse me, I'm getting confused now with the under 25. Number, was he 13? The Chiefs are 12
yeah.
on roster, and a C plus on the offseason. After hearing that conversation, you okay with the C plus?
I mean, I think I'd put it at a B. I know Brett Veach was a little bit limited with cap space and stuff like that, but I think adding the Super Bowl MVP, I think at least garners you a B because you upgraded the weakest part of your offense.
I think if you're grading it based upon the resources at hand, then I would bump it up. But if you're just grading it like, hey, you should manage your cap right and be able to do what you need to do, I don't think they got everything done that they needed to do because of the cap. So it's kind of like it's why we speak about that. The cap is always affecting you as you move forward. In any one year, you can move money around and make it happen, but you're eventually going to have to pay for it. And they're paying for it this year. They could have moved it around again, but then they would have been in getting towards dire straits like the New Orleans Saints are in. And I don't think anybody wants to be where they've been over the last 4 or 5 years. So good stuff. Enjoy the conversation with Seth Walder. We play the feud. We need a contestant next.
All right, France failed to become the third country ever to have made the World Cup final 3 times in a row. Who are the only 2 countries to have done it?
I'll tell you where the feud's going to start. You want to know where it's going to start?
No.
You want to know where it's going to start? Water one. Water one. Kiss my ass. Water one. That's where it's going to start. That's where it'll
Right
begin.
now.
That's where the feud begins. The inability to even see a bill.
Can't lose this one today.
I mean, I mean, seriously. Like, logged in. Oh, first of all,
Let me give you my money.
how many computer programmers does it take to outwit one stoned Russian to where we don't need like 7 codes texted to us or Gmailed? You know? How many programmers does it take to beat a stoned Russian?
A handful, 4 or 5.
Not
that what
enough.
it-
I don't know. We don't know the answer.
Sign in. Yes, I'd like to sign in.
Let's see how this goes.
Verification. It will be sent to you.
To what?
If a valid profile is found for your username, you will receive a verification code shortly using the preferred method we have on file.
What's that
Email
preferred
or
method?
text. Okay? I have not
Carrier
gotten a text
pigeon?
nor an email.
Send a raven.
I seriously. It's like, here it comes. How long have I been asking? There it
3
is.
minutes.
It just arrived.
Now they've already sent 4 of them, so now that one's no good anymore.
That
this
one's
is this
deactivated
is
now.
definitely like three times ago. Let's try that.
So that's the
one.
wrong code, sir. Try again.
And yes,
How you
don't
get
ask on
locked
this
out
browser for the
permanently.
umpteenth time.
Patience,
You know.
grasshopper. Patience.
I'm a real patient guy.
That's,
You know how
that
much
is your
I owe?
middle name.
You know how much I owe?
Nothing now.
Negative $105.46. I was
said.
telling him because with the water companies, I just throw money at them because I can't figure out what I owe, and then
Call home,
eventually
tell them to flush away. Go ahead.
flush away. We're paid up, girls. Flush away.
Turn the sprinkler on. Just aim it to the streets. We don't need it.
We need a contestant at 913-810-810. We're going to play the feud. Just grab a line, $25 gift card
You're all set now.
to a Nick and Jake's. Well, I'm going to throw more money there because I don't know what the bill is. I can't see the bill.
Just pay ahead.
We randomly got here. That's what I do. I pay ahead. I send a random amount of money. I hope it covers it. I overpay.
And then just hope the water doesn't get shut
Then I
off.
try to guesstimate. Yeah.
You see a guy out there with a
You nailed
wrench.
it.
You say, listen, I think I paid some money to someone once.
You nailed it. I mean, it took 10 minutes to get the authorization code. But it worked. I'll
Send it
give him
right
that.
away.
But, at least I got to sit here for 10 minutes and stare at it.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right, let's play the feud. How are you,
Watch Pop
Todd?
Never Boys. I'm doing great.
Darcy in for Curtis.
I'm doing okay. Excited to see. I have been criticized for my feud performances.
No, you're too hard on yourself.
And I haven't been great, but I like to just say I'm efficient. I'm efficient at this game. I answer 3 or 4 questions right. I
You've
get the
done
rest
something.
wrong.
Yeah.
And the guest wins.
If
All
you
right.
can buzz in quickly, then you've got Curtis beat.
All right, I'm not patient today. I don't know if anyone's figured that out. I'll give you 10 seconds and then the kid plays. 913-3-810-810, the phone number, 913-3-810-810. iPhone, you want to go to Nick and Jake's? On us?
I mean, I can, but
Yeah.
No, we're not. This
The
isn't a
answer is
food
yes.
run. This isn't a
Yes.
food run right now.
yes.
That's not what this
Well, I
is
mean,
all about.
you know.
I'm saying we're just going to give you a gift card to go hang out with people you actually like. And if you can win, you'll get a $40 gift card.
Okay.
Are you up for it?
TBT on it? Nick and
Well,
Jake's?
you're
Oh,
out.
sure it is.
The phone rang.
Phone
I was
rang.
about to
That's
say,
it.
I think
You're out.
someone's going to call in.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. They may be like, no, I want to see the kid play. So we'll hold tight. We haven't done intern Jeopardy the last couple of years because we used to have mobs and mobs of interns. They've wised up. Only you fools still want to go into this business.
400 of them last year, but
Yeah. Did we have 400 last year? We should have played it. But we'll give you a chance to play if you want to play. But you didn't seem like, okay, if I have to.
Yeah, I will.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna let Lawrence play. Lawrence is gonna play.
Lawrence is going to play over the Manhattan Kid?
Well, yeah, he's going to play over the Manhattan Kid but find out when's your last day. It's got to
It'll
be coming.
be July 31st.
Oh my
that's
God,
coming
that's-
up. That's
yeah,
next
that's
Friday.
Next week. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have him play next week.
Next week, okay.
Next week,
With
there it
school
is.
start on August 1st?
Yeah.
No.
No.
No, he's just done. He's got his minimum hours and he's out.
done.
That's it.
That's the
Lawrence,
spirit.
welcome to the program. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Do you ever have a problem paying your water bill?
No, I just don't have water.
Well, I'm
Problem solved.
I'm jealous. I'm not sure it's worth what the effort is. Lawrence,
Well, look,
you know Dad.
You just get your
Go ahead.
just get yourself a Home Depot bucket, buddy. You're all good.
So
I love it.
The
I
neighbor's
love it.
hose is free.
All right, let's start with Lawrence. The fact that you got to make a decision. Do you want to play with Todd? Do you want to play with me, or do you want to play with Darcy, who is 17-0? He's never lost in this game, or he's like 500. We're not sure, one or the other.
Well, I like a challenge, so I'll play with you.
Okay, yeah, that is a challenge. It's going to be me and Lawrence. Lawrence, are you by chance from Arabia?
No, Seren, you say that to me every time.
I know, I love it. Because I remember the movie Hollywood Nights with the guys, the two cops in the car, the guy going, Lawrence of Arabia. He was an English guy. But, it's my fun. So sorry, Lawrence, for going back to the well.
We're all good.
It's going to be me and Lawrence. Who's going first for you two? So Lawrence can pick where he wants to go.
You go first.
I'll go
Darcy.
first.
Okay, it's
Michael
going to be
Darcy first.
It's going to be Darcy first for them, and then Lebo. Who do you want it? Where do you want to go? First or second?
I'll take on the Lebo.
You'll take on Lebo?
all right.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Lawrence versus Lebo, and it'll be me versus Darcy. Let's do this.
Do it.
All right, give me Darcy, give me Seren. 7 answers on the board. Name me a player who has once been voted number 1 on the NFL's top
Patrick.
100.
Patrick
Seren.
Mahomes.
Mahomes, number 1.
We got to play, right, Lawrence?
Yes.
Okay. A player. You want to read that question again?
Yeah, let me do that again. Number 1 is off the board, so 6 answers left. Name players who have once been voted number 1 on the NFL's top 100 list.
Let me go with. Oh, what the heck was the defensive tackles from St. Louis?
Mhm.
Going with,
Mm-hmm. Boy, there's a
No.
Let me just go with how about Calvin Johnson?
Ooh, not Megatron. And I looked it up. This list has only been around since 2011.
It's only been around since
That was my
2011.
follow-up question.
So like Donald Duck wouldn't be on, is what you're saying?
Oh, come on.
I'm just asking.
Come on.
I'm just asking.
Just
ABS
unbelievable.
challenges.
Because I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson.
Lamar, yes, number 4 on the
Okay.
list.
Okay.
That's enough hints.
So it's been since 2011.
Yeah,
That's right.
I don't know if you pick. I don't know if he's picking up what I was laying down
He's
there.
not.
Let's go with Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald,
Subconsciously he got him.
number 6 on the list.
No
is-
ding. He doesn't get a ding for that.
He got it. He got it. You guys were celebrating.
All right. All right. I'm going to go with. Now it gets harder. I think Josh Allen got it a couple of years ago. I'm going to go with Josh Allen.
Josh Allen has never been voted number 1.
Number one, okay.
Strike 2.
Man, that's written down. There's 4 more?
I'm
Yeah.
looking for number 2, 3, 5, and 7.
Back over to you,
My
Lawrence.
turn.
Yep.
Let me go with. We got to go with the 7-time Super Bowl champion. So let's go with Tom Brady.
Oh,
Tom Brady,
God,
number
thank
2 on the
God.
list. He got it in 2011, 17,
So it goes-
18, and 22.
Okay, then I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers. He probably got in there once.
He did, but not on my list.
Oh.
That is strike 3.
Damn.
Are we allowed to discuss amongst
Oh,
ourselves?
now we
Yes,
can
you can
discuss.
now.
Okay. I know for a fact Tyreek Hill is on that list.
Was he number 1?
He was number 1. I don't know if he's on Kyle's list.
Okay. Who else?
I'm blank. Tyreek Hill was most recent.
Did
That
they
was
ever
after,
give like Joe Burrow this
No.
and make us mad?
I don't think he's been healthy enough to be number 1. Because Josh Allen was, but he wasn't
Yeah.
on the list.
He never got number
This
1.
is the
Okay,
NFL's
he
top
never got
100.
Mhm.
I know Tyreek Hill was on it at number 1.
Well, I'm going to go with you then. Tyreek Hill.
Yeah!
Tyreek Hill, number 3. He was number 1 in 2024. That is going to be 85 points over to Lebo and Darcy. The ones
85?
you missed. Number 5, Saquon Barkley
Ah.
won it last year. Number 7 in 2016,
McCaffrey?
Cam Newton.
Oh, Cam.
Wow.
Cam Newton was the
Lord.
overall
Superman
number
for
1
ya.
player. Then he broke his shoulder.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. I failed you on that one, Lawrence. I'm sorry.
Before we move on, Lawrence, let's test that buzzer.
Lawrence.
There it is. All right, give me Lawrence and give me Lebo. 7 answers on the board. Name me Chiefs players who have been named to the All-Pro team multiple times. Lebo.
Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes, number 1.
You want to play this, Darcy?
What is Mahomes the answer to number 1 on all these questions?
He's all of
We're
them.
going to find out.
All pro.
Multiple time
Multiple
All-Pro.
times. Okay. You can't look at your phone.
I know I'm typing stuff on my phone.
No,
you're-
don't set the
that's
phone
it.
down.
He's making
Set
his
the phone
notes. He doesn't know how to use pencil and paper.
I brought a pencil and paper in here. I got flamed before.
Who
Give me
did?
that.
Who said that to you?
Petro did not like I had pencil and paper.
That is not true. I don't like it when you have your phone. You got that backwards.
Okay. I mean, is it all-time All-Pro?
Yeah. It's a broad question.
Well, I mean, we probably should play it, right?
Yeah, we're absolutely
Okay.
playing.
Yeah, we're playing it. So it's my go then.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this. When you're Todd's partner, you have no say.
Okay. Perfect.
You
Travis
know
Kelce.
the Chiefs.
Travis Kelce, number 2 on the list.
Chris Jones.
Chris Jones, number 5 on the list.
Maybe I'm overthinking this. Is this first team All Pro, second team All Pro, just all? So I have to clarify.
All of these guys, first team All-Pros.
Okay.
Yes.
But yes, you're
Multiple.
overthinking. You're overthinking.
First team, all pro.
Chiefs.
Eric Berry?
Chiefs.
Eric Berry, he says.
Eric Berry.
Eric Berry, strike 1.
Get out of here.
God, how old back? Derek Thomas.
Oh, he got it one time.
One time.
Strike 2.
Oh, wow.
I think this is going to be more recent.
That's on a multiple time All Pro.
Could be a snap.
Oh my goodness. A multiple time All Pro.
Come on, Shane. Michael.
I mean, we're even now. We're even now.
You gave 2 clues.
No, I didn't. I gave one.
Oh, you gave 2.
I gave one. You're done.
I didn't even hear what he said.
You're
I didn't even hear what he
that's-
said.
That's your fault. Lawrence is a lot better at picking up on the clues than Darcy is over here.
Oh my gosh. This is gonna kill me. Jamal Charles.
That's not bad. I had his name
Not a
down.
bad guess.
That's not bad.
Strike 3, though.
Okay. I have written down Mitchell Schwartz, Will Shields, Priest Holmes, and Creed Humphrey.
Yeah, is
That's why I
it
said it's a snap.
recent or is it like all time too?
It's
All
all
time.
time, but give us the answers that we've had and where they rank.
Number 1, Mahomes. Number 2, Kelce. Number 5, Chris Jones.
I was kind of thinking maybe Willie Lanier.
Yeah, Bobby Bell,
Bobby
Buck
Bell, Will
Buchanan. There's a lot of those guys. I'm putting Tyreek Hill down as well because it has been a recency bias as well.
I mean, I'm
Trent
good
Trent McDuffie did. I think he first team corner or nickel
I think
twice.
just once, though. I don't know. Maybe twice. He could never be Pro Bowl, but he was, or never be Pro Bowler, but it was All Pro. Right? Is that worked with him?
He wasn't All Pro.
I mean, never been
Trent
Pro Bowler.
McDuffie, yes, he was.
Yeah, he was
first team All Pro nickelback at least once.
But he wasn't a Pro Bowler. It was dumb.
Yeah, he wasn't
Like
a Pro
that,
Bowler,
yeah.
but he was.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Mitchell Schwartz. Mitchell
Right.
Schwartz never won the Pro Bowl, but he was. I'm pretty sure he was multiple first teamers as well.
Well,
I don't know about
I'll-
Priest. I know Will Shields had to have been. I feel very good about Mitchell Schwartz. I'm pretty sure Creed has had it twice. If I'm wrong, it's only once on that one. McDuffie, I know, was at least once the nickelback, and I'm assuming Tyreek Hill probably got it.
Had to.
People would have said it even if he wasn't right, but so where do you think, Lawrence? Or what else you got you want to add?
Well, I was just thinking some of the older guys like Tony G and
Tony G had to be on that list too. Yeah.
yeah. Let's go with Tony G.
Okay, Tony Gonzalez.
Oh man,
That's tough.
No.
That's tough. Strike
He was
3.
probably 4
He was
times. or
probably
something.
multiple times.
Didn't make the list.
But here's the deal.
It has to
Voters
be somebody.
didn't like him.
It has to be somebody in the last 10 years.
It's Tyreek Hill, Creed Humphrey, and
Willie Rowe, Joe Tooney.
Trent McDuffie.
McDuffie was one time. I
So-
knew
so
that.
who won that round?
We did.
They did.
How many
Okay.
points?
That is only
Only.
That's only 65.
That's okay.
Okay.
We're okay.
I remember this because McDuffie got first team All Pro one year and then second team, I believe, the next.
What are the answers?
So what are the answers?
The ones you missed. Number 3, Tyreek.
Oh.
Number 4, Will Shields.
Mm.
Number 6, Creed Humphrey.
Ah,
7, Bobby Bell.
Bobby Bell.
Okay. All right. Man, you can't. I got.
You can't be wrong about that answer. Tony Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez is.
And you were right about Priest. Only one time. McDuffie. Only one time.
Okay. Okay. All right. It's time to get hot, Lawrence. Let's go.
All right.
Yeah,
over
well-
to
Clown show across from me here. We're not losing
Seren and Darcy. I got 7 answers on the board. Name a Chiefs quarterback before Patrick Mahomes. I think that was Seren.
I'm going to go with Alex Smith.
Number 3 on the list.
Ooh.
I go?
Yeah.
Can you beat that, Darcy?
Have you ever seen Family Feud on TV?
I've gotten the clips on TikTok of bad Family Feud moments.
Well, this you're making it right
Give
now.
me Trent Green.
Trent Green, number 1.
There we go.
Oh, wow. Okay.
FYI, I just looked this up. Tony Gonzalez only 6 times first team up.
That's it.
Only 6 times. All right. Well, let me hear the whole question.
Name a Chiefs quarterback pre-Patrick Mahomes.
We got to have Lynn Dawson.
Len Dawson, number 2.
Thinking about how crazy I want to get here. Oh, we'll just go with Joe Montana.
Montana, number 4.
I was gonna get crazy with the guesses, but that's the same guess.
Hold your water.
There's only one more or 2 more?
There's 3 more.
Oh, 3 more. We have 5 or 4 more.
You
Okay.
have 1 through 4.
Are
so-
you
Okay.
even paying attention?
I was looking up Tony
I'm
Gonzalez.
the one paying bills over
Matt
here.
Castle. Okay.
Steve Reich won.
It's okay. I'll die on that hill.
Elvis Gerbach.
Didn't make the list. Strike 2.
Jeez. These guys, give me one of these awful ones.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say
And
one of the awful ones.
we're
I
not
wanted
allowed
say
to-
some bros.
Yeah, we're not allowed
We can't
to.
talk now. I mean, I got all the. I know them all. I know these dummies. I'm gonna go because he was a first-round draft pick. Todd Blackledge.
All right.
Ouch.
You're kidding.
I have a list that includes Bill Kenny, Steve Fuller, Tyler Palco, Steve DeBerg, Matt Moore, Dave Craig, Warren Moon. Let's see who, Steve Pallure, Ron Jaworski,
Put Tyler Thigpen on there.
Damon Heward, Tyler Thigpen, Brody Croyle.
You just gotta hope they hope they answered it.
What do you think? If Steve DeBerg had success, he was, the quarterback of
Marty
the
guy,
turnaround. Well, give us what's been answered again.
Number 1, Trent Green. 2, Len Dawson. 3, Alex Smith. 4, Joe Montana.
So we've got old and new. So I think DeBerg's got a place in a lot of people's hearts, but I out of the list I gave, I'd say DeBerg 1, Craig 2. I'll bet you some jackal threw in a Tyler Palco or something goofy like that. But I'm open to suggestions and whatever you think, Lawrence.
Well, I do like Bill Kenny.
Okay.
I mean, he had a couple good seasons.
Yep, had a Pro Bowl season for the team.
Yeah, and then he take them to the playoffs in '86.
Yes, he and Todd Blackledge.
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe Bill Kenny. Other than that, Elvis Gerbach or
Gerbach got
Steve
buzzed.
He was a strike.
Bono. Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I don't want to relive the Steve Bono. I can see how bad that's going to go if you say him.
We lived it, so.
Yeah. All right. Let's go with. I don't know. You go ahead and pick.
You sure?
Yeah, because all of those are bad choices.
All right, with the finger and all this stuff, Steve DeBerg is the more memorable guy, I think, for a lot of Chiefs fans. So I'm going to go Steve DeBerg.
Yeah.
Steve DeBerg, number 6 on the list. That's 85 points.
There you go, in your face,
The
Todd.
ones you missed, number 5, Tyler Thigpen.
Big. I see.
I knew there was
Joke
going to
one.
be a good
7,
one.
Brody Croyle.
Brody
That's what
Croyle.
Michael
What's
had him
going
written
on?
down.
What's going on?
No wins. Never won a game.
Never won a game. I don't care. He's doing fine, I'm sure. He's a good dude.
All right, give me Lawrence and give me Lebo. 7 answers on the board. Name a player on the 1970 Steelers. Lebo.
Terry Bradshaw.
Terry Bradshaw, number 1.
By
Pass
the way,
or
did you
play?
say 70s?
70s.
Or just
Yeah, 'cause he was
1970 alone?
1970s.
He was the
Okay.
number 1 draft pick in
Okay.
1972. I figured it was that, so I went with it. You know some Steelers? Come on. You know some older
I know
guys.
a couple.
All right. Let's go then.
Good. I mean, the good news is he should strike 3 times, Lawrence, and Todd should only get 2, and then we should get it. So you can put your
So I
thinking
have
cap on.
to guess now.
Yeah.
Joe Green.
There we go.
Oh, wow.
Joe Green, number 4.
All right. Franco Harris?
Number 2.
That would have been. He was a wide receiver, right?
No, running back.
No.
Good enough.
I'm thinking of the wide receiver that. I'm not gonna get his name. Hold on. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that guy.
That guy.
Him.
Play with a broken leg. He might have been with the Rams. Way back in the day.
If you promise to answer, I'll give you his name. If that gives you an idea which team that guy played for.
Come on, Steelers. Yeah, come on, man.
Jerome Bettis' dad.
Strike 1.
Jack Lambert.
Not on the list.
Oh,
Not
my
on the
gosh.
Strike 2.
All right. They got too many guys.
If I know the position.
No.
Okay.
No.
Great.
Eat it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to eat this one. Go ahead and buzz me, Kyle.
Wow.
Take it like a man.
Strike 3.
All right, I have written down Rocky Blyer, Lynn Swan, John Stallworth, Mel Blount, Donnie Shell, the center who came here to Kansas City at the end, Mike Webster. There's L.C. Greenwood and
There's only like 9 Hall of Famers on there.
I
10
know,
maybe.
and I'm forgetting who's the Penn State outside linebacker. I'm drawing a
Jack
blank on
Ham.
his name. Jack Ham. Thank you, Jack Ham. I mean, I'm thinking either one of the wideouts. I'm thinking Lynn Swan for sure is on there.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with that.
All right, we'll go Swanee.
Lynn Swan, number 3 on the list.
You almost thought of his name, didn't you? Close.
Nope.
That is going to be 80.
80. Okay.
It's coming right down to it.
All right.
Great.
Let's go. Let's go.
What didn't we get?
Oh, I just threw it away. Hold on.
What are you doing, man?
Had to be L.C. Greenwood. That's a great name.
The
Mike
ones you
Webster
missed,
had
number
to be
5, Mel Blount. Number 6, Mike Webster. 7, Stallworth.
Stallworth, yeah, like the
Okay.
wide receivers.
I wouldn't
Didn't
have let us
like
take
Jack
Donnie
Lambert,
Shell.
man.
Jack
That was the guy I was
Lambert, that's
thinking about.
surprising.
Oh, wow.
That was the guy I was thinking about. Did he play on the Rams as well?
No,
No,
Jack
you're thinking
Youngblood.
of Jack Youngblood.
Okay.
Played for the Rams.
All right. I forget.
Lost
who
to the
hell is
Steelers
up.
in this. It lost to the Steelers in the
Super Bowl.
'79 January of '80 Super Bowl. So
Maybe that's what I was
that
thinking
that
of.
was the tie. You may have seen
You do some
Steeler
names.
uniforms
You're
out there on
doing
the
okay
field.
for a 24-year-old.
That's not bad. You're a child. We don't expect much.
All right, give me Seren and give me Darcy. 6 answers on the board. Name me your favorite activity to do while tailgating.
Petro.
Seren.
Drinking.
Drinking beer. Number 4.
Oh, 4. I was getting ready to start playing.
Darcy.
Grilling.
Number 5.
Oh. All right, we got to play this, don't we,
What
Lawrence?
is happening at these tailgates?
yeah. Am I up?
Yeah, you're up.
All right. How about tossing the old pigskin around?
Playing catch. Number
Having
2.
a catch. You know what we're gonna do? We'll play a little cornhole.
Number 1.
Does that include all games, or is
No.
We've had catch in.
Looking for number 3 and number 6.
I heard grilling. Does smoking or anything like that? Like
Is that
smoking
different or
meat
is that part?
That's off the board.
what kind of smoking? Because I see plenty of that out there too, boys.
All right. Well, then
Smell
let's go with. Let's see. You already got drinking. How about eating?
Can't count it. Not on the list. Strike 1.
I had that on the list. I forget what they call some of those games. Like I've seen them played.
Make up a name for a game.
Well, if I describe the game,
No,
Nope.
no.
that's like trying to describe Lynn Swan to someone.
I need the
It's
name.
not gonna work
Todd.
like that.
Shut up.
Hey, listen, I'm not water one.
Shut up.
Don't be mad at me.
How'd you phrase the question again?
Name your favorite activity to do at a tailgate.
Half the time it's like, late in the season, it's like keep your ass warm, And what do we got so far?
Number 1, bags.
I've got a
/
couple things written
cornhole.
down.
2, playing catch. 4, drinking. 5, grilling.
So what? 3 is the
I'm
highest
looking
one.
for 3 and 6.
3 and 6. 3 and 6. I'm thinking of all games like lawn games, but I'm like, you're on a parking lot, so you don't usually play those.
Croquet.
Yeah, I do disagree. I do disagree with one of these on the list.
Oh,
Oh.
it's a bad
But
game.
but the voters, they put it in there.
Well, in one of the games called Washers.
that's definitely on
Okay.
there.
Washers, number 6.
Dang it!
I had that written down all along. I just was trying to find something else and leave that one for Lawrence.
And I wouldn't have got that. I'm gonna try beer pong.
Beer pong, nailed it.
I wrote down pong.
Is that it?
That's it. Full
100?
sweep.
100.
Don't call it a comeback, boys. From 150 to nothing, we come back to stomp your guts by more than 100 points, 265 to 150. I'm sorry. I don't know how you'll go home and look at your wife, Todd.
I don't think I will. I'm just gonna get on the highway and drive.
That is an
I can't show my
embarrassment.
face.
That is an
done.
embarrassment.
Was that the 5th category, Kyle?
Yeah.
Yes.
Kyle goes, "You're not gonna like the 5th category." I was talking about it today. I've never tailgated before.
No, I said try to win before the 5th.
Yeah.
Because the next one, I said the next one was the next one's Taylor
the next
Swift
one was
album.
horrible.
Oh, Taylor Swift album. Sure.
Lawrence, you're a winner, my friend. Well done, well played. I'm glad you were able to overcome my incompetence early, and I'm glad you got the win. Go enjoy a $40 gift card to Nick and Jake's, my friend.
I appreciate it, and thank you all.
You're the
Thanks,
man.
Lawrence.
You're the man, Lawrence. Timmons! Lawrence is coming in hot.
He's ready to go.
He's got $40 he's going to throw around. Big hitter. Nick and Jake's 3 locations. You can find them online at nickandjakes.com. Dine in, delivery, carry out. They're happy to take care of you. Beautiful patio. Great people. Great service. Great place to go watch a game or take the whole family out for dinner. It's Nick and Jake's. Find them online at nickandjakes.com. Little Todd Talks here, the program brought to you by our friends at Family Leisure. Todd, do you know what came to my house the other day?
A delivery from Family Leisure?
That's right, some new patio furniture. You know what I saw walking around the neighborhood yesterday, taking my old man walk? The delivery trucks from Family Leisure. Very popular time. Big sale going on right now. Go to familyleisure.com.
Someone getting a massage chair delivered, not you?
I did not. I thought about turning down the street and seeing what it was. But if they were bringing in a massage chair, I was going to cry. I was going to cry.
Yeah.
I was absolutely going to cry. Still have not been given the green light for the massage chair. But
you make the green light.
We did change out some patio furniture. We still have that was more than 20 years old. There's nothing wrong with it. My wife just decided, listen,
you need new.
We let's do something new. And I'm like, okay.
You just add?
I just
or did you move those?
We subtracted some.
Subtracted some.
Subtracted
Seating's
some.
about the same?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But she likes this better.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, works.
Styles change.
Family Leisure, they're great. Go see Dennis, DJ. They do a great job taking care of people. Locally owned and operated for more than a quarter century. Mention 810. You can save even more. I love the Adirondack chairs. That'll probably be the next purchase. They got some rocking Adirondacks. That's what I'm eyeing now, Todd. There's always something. If you go out there, hot tub spas, pools, poker tables, it is the place. Family and fun come together at one place. K10 and Ridgeview. Online at familyleisure.com.
Right there near the
Future Chiefs practice facility. That's right.
No renderings of that today.
No, but renderings of the stadium are out.
Well, the big news today was that they picked their architects, and that was probably an upset that Populous wasn't the pick. I mean, they've done all the work on all these things before, but this Manica, the guy used to work at HOK, which is now Populous. They're all the same people, but he's got his own company, and him and HNTB, they will be the designers of this stadium. I was a little, I'm not surprised, a little surprised that had this. It's called ETFE. It's basically this see-through glass space age polymer roof that you see at US Bank Field in Minnesota.
Right.
And you've seen it there's elements of it at, I think, LAFC soccer stadium, but it's not a dome. It's
LAFC does not have a roof.
They've got
if they do, they've added it since I was there.
But they have this little kind of thing around it that's this material.
That covers the seating.
Yeah, the seating area.
Okay, yes. And it has that material. I didn't realize that.
It's got some out there. And there's elements of it, I think, somewhere in SoFi as well. But this would be a different deal. Now, they didn't say it in the release, but look, they want to have grass field. And I was looking this material up. There is a stadium in New Zealand that is domed off with this material that has a grass field inside of it. So I think that's what they want to kind of do. These are just preliminary renderings. This is not exactly what this stadium is going to look like. The news today that we need to know is who's going to do it. It's going to have about 70,000 seats and 20,000 parking places. I don't know if it's going to look exactly like this.
I think right now we're just generating some interest. I think these are probably a little bit like trial balloons. What do people think? You know, you float it to see the reaction, gauge whether or not you keep going down that direction. That's what it feels like to me. What does it feel like to you?
My quick reaction to me is they want, listen, it's a very traditional family. Like when they redid everything 2007, 8, 9 to get ready for the 10 season, they wanted to keep the bowl intact. They love the iconic Arrowhead Bowl, right? That's what they love. In my opinion, there are some of the worst seats in the entire NFL at Arrowhead. Those little points, they're terrible.
It looked to me, though,
they want to have those. They want it to look like that.
If you combine the outer, when you look at the outer photo, I do see where they peak it, which is an iconic look. But on the inside, it does not look like that's the.
It's a little peaky.
Is it?
Yeah, look at that. A little peaky.
Look at that again. Maybe
peaky. It's like, hey, listen, it would be cut those points off, put some seats somewhere better, and then get it done. But I know that, and they say in the release that, have the Hall of the Ring of Honor names at the top, and they want to have this roof that you can see through. They mentioned it in the release to have military flyovers, which is a silly reason to have a glass roof, in my opinion. I know they're fun, but if it's not,
why is it silly?
Because that's.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm
1 minute a game to try to, look at a plane.
Splash around a bunch of taxpayer money for.
If you can make the grass work, because I do think real grass is important, and I think we've seen some of that from the NFLPA guys talking about, oh boy, they put this real grass in these things to play soccer, and you can actually do this in some of these stadiums, but they don't have it when we play our football games. You know what I mean? It's much more challenging to try to grow grass indoors through this roof than it is outdoors. The other side we see, listen, I'm no
Well, I mean,
agronomist
they could slide the tray out.
Now, is it more expensive or less expensive to slide the tray out? Because
It-
this
it-
picture right here doesn't show any sliding tray.
Well,
There's a
let's
sliding
see.
tray in Vegas. There's a sliding tray in Arizona.
Let me look again.
There's no mention of, hey, let's have a removable field here.
It does not appear that way, but I think that's something you could draw in later. I mean, you go for aesthetics here to get everybody excited and everything. It has to be. I'm no engineer and I'm not an architect and I've never built a stadium, so I'm not the right guy to ask completely about this. But generally speaking, the lower you put concrete, the cheaper it is. If you've got to roll it on the ground as opposed to rolling it in the air, I'm sure it's significantly cheaper to roll a field in and out, which is what I would recommend. Is that you roll the field in and out. I wonder if they will build in, is the World Cup coming maybe once or twice over the life of the stadium worth building in removable stands so you don't have to cut into the concrete the way you think that would be part of the equation?
I do. I remember kind of talking, might have been, I talked to Dan Hunt down at Big 12 Media Days. He was down there getting like this little award from Brett Yormark, and we were talking about the stadiums and things like that. And I think it would make sense for them to build something that was very easy to make FIFA compliant.
Right.
Now listen, some of these fields are just FIFA compliant to start with. Like Miami's field, they didn't have to move any seats. It's just got a great big floor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would you rather have the fans right up there on the back of the bench? Yeah, you probably would, because the fans are pretty far away in Miami. They're not right up there on it.
Well, I think the other thing, because did L.A. probably has a big floor, and they didn't have to mess with it.
No, they had to.
They did in L.A.?
They had to do a little work in L.A. It was ridiculous. Like,
Well, I
how
know
is this
they
thing-
did in a lot of them, like Philly, right? Philly had to as well.
Yeah, most of them did. But I think that'll. I don't think it'd be something where I have to cut it all out and do all this real work that they had to do this time. But I do think they'll anticipate having some sort of soccer events there, whether it's a World Cup or not. You might as well be ready to do it, and that's probably easier to do now as opposed to later. Like the guys at Applause come over to the house. They can do anything anywhere, but it's a whole lot easier.
It's
to do
easier if they wire it
with the
first.
studs are just sitting out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they'll probably think about those things, and that's something they certainly weren't thinking about in 1970 when they were breaking ground out at Arrowhead Stadium. But I have heard lots of people talk about this, and the way I was hearing it was leaning towards not having this see-through roof. But this is what Clark wants, and this does say it's fixed roof and all that, because we were talking this morning. Retractable roof makes way more sense to have outdoor and indoor, but that's way more expensive. Way more expensive. So if the sacrifice is, yes, let's try to get a Final Four, let's try to get a national championship game of football, a WrestleMania, have concerts all year long.
Tell me more about, you said, okay, that growing the grass is a lot harder in the translucent roof. You can or can't do it?
Well, they did it. They're doing it in New Orleans. I don't know if many people
Where?
have tried it. And not New Orleans, New Zealand. I looked up a
Okay.
stadium in New Zealand that they have. It's a fully fixed dome like this that they have grass inside. It's not grass inside Minnesota. Now, it's not a fully the top. It's nearly the entire thing. They also had a monstrous hailstorm up there, and there's some real damage up in Minnesota. Like 60% of it got messed up. We do live in
Hail zone,
hail territory here. It's certainly, and this is what the whole project is the cost worth the trouble? Is it going to be trouble down the line? Which is why I'm just cautioning people. Don't look at this picture right here and think you're going to walk out there in 2031 and go, oh my God, it looks exactly like it.
The part that I look at, and I'm, I see it's got the multiple layers in the upper deck where it looks like they're going to have some premium seating in the lower parts of the upper deck. I do see where you're talking about with the peaks there for the seats, which I think is it's not a good idea. But I don't see the overwhelming video board.
No, I don't either. Like, unless like at the very top up there, I mean,
But
where
it's not even
it's way up
rectangular.
there.
I think the odd-shaped video board, like it's always been, the oval-shaped video board has always been like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Since I was a kid, I'm like, can we get the real TV? Like, what
Well,
are we
it's the
doing
same
here?
thing they did at the K. They said we had a crown and we have to make the crown. Well, let's go ahead and take an HD TV and turn it on its side.
It's so big, though. I
It's
don't
not
mind
bad.
that.
It's not bad, but it's just,
because even if you just take up it's still a big screen if you just take the maximum part of it
Yes.
that you can lay out. I do think you should just set it on its side and make the crown fat and wide.
it's
You know,
it's
I mean,
made it's more like made for TikToks, up and down instead of sideways. That's
Yeah.
how it is that way. Listen, these are hard things to do, and they're trying to thread the needle on honoring the old stadium. But I honestly, and that's one of the things John Sherman talked about. Everyone said, you better have a water feature, you better have a crown. Is that the first two things you need to think about when you build a baseball stadium? I don't know. You better have points, and you better have a tailgate. Sure, but you're making a new stadium. Why does it have to look like the last stadium?
I mean, the one thing I'm kind of surprised, I saw some people, like when I Googled it the first time, I didn't go right to kcchiefs.com to look at it. I Googled it, and I saw some either old ideas or what, but where they had some buildings in near it. I know they want a lot of parking, but I mean, I think you could get some things in around the stadium, which I assumed was part of the reason. This makes it look like the land will just be for parking.
That's what it looks like in these pictures, but this is just kind of like stadium renderings. I don't know if this is full site renderings. By the way, the other thing that's not in this thing is precisely where this is going to be, which I still don't know exactly where it's going to be. I do think they're going to do a lot of ideas for, how crowds move around and make it more accessible, because Arrowhead now, part of the thing that underwhelmed people last time in the renderings was trying to make Arrowhead more efficient to get in and out and around it, and maybe they'll be better at doing that than they were back in the day. I don't know. This looks fine. I'm not upset.
Well, there's only so much you can do with a dome.
Yeah, and it's the thing that will make the stadium great is if you win games in it.
Yeah.
That's what makes them all great, because we kind of laugh sometimes about they've been trying to call Arrowhead iconic for like 5 or 6 years, but it's become more iconic because people do come to Kansas City to go watch the Chiefs play because they've watched it on TV when they're winning Super Bowls and the AFC Championship games and all that stuff. But is where the Patriots play iconic?
I don't. Yes. No, I don't think so.
No. And they played AFC Championship
I think
games, all
Arrowhead
that
is
there.
more iconic than Gillette
Because it's older.
Because it's older, but they didn't win. They won 2 playoff games before Pat Mahomes came to town in that building.
Yeah.
2.
Didn't play in one till it was how old? 18 years old?
Yeah.
Didn't host a playoff game for 18 years?
Yeah.
1918. It was 1991, so
Yeah.
72. Crazy. So, but it has become iconic. But do you need to recreate that? Listen, Jerry World looks iconic now. It doesn't look like the old Texas Stadium.
No.
I don't think you need to copy a
Yeah.
stadium.
I agree. We'll take a break. More with Todd Lebo. A little Todd talk here on a Wednesday. It's brought to you by our friends, at Family Leisure. They're at K10 and Ridgeview. You can find them online at familyleisure.com. It is the place where family and fun come together. The pool, patio, and spa sale. It's going on right now. Mention 810, save even more. Great selection of the patio furniture. Go get it right now. K10 and Ridgeview.
The program with Soren Petro.
Yep, this is the way it is here.
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
All right, listen, are you looking to get out on the open road? Are you looking to get out for some vacation? Maybe it's just settling in down at the lake. Maybe you want to go, I don't know, maybe to a lake in Montana. Unlimited RV can make that all come true for you. They're Kansas City's best, the #1 selling RV dealership in Kansas City. In fact, did you know that they're a top 50 RV dealer the last 3 years nationally? That's right. And this is based upon customer service scores, not just sales volume. Oh, they've got the sales volume. Like I said, #1 in Kansas City. Why? Because customers are happy. How about they've got a 4.7 Google rating on over 900 reviews? Josh and his team are absolutely fantastic to deal with. So if it's time for you to get out on the road, it's time for you to vacation, it's time for you to not have any limits on where you're going, then get to Unlimited RV. Start by going to the website. It's unlimitedrv.com. That's unlimitedrv.com. Fully transparent pricing. They are Kansas City's best. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty on all new campers. They even extend that lifetime warranty to used campers that are 2 years old or newer.
Where else are you going to find that? And on down the road, as you need some service, then they've got master certified technicians. Their technicians are absolutely the best, so you're going to get the best in service as well. Like I said, Josh and his team are great. Great customer service, great selection, the best people to deal with. Have 2 locations right there in Independence, 4400 North Cobbler Road, and down at the Ozarks, 12 Hauser Road in the Ozarks. It's Unlimited RV. Listen, if you're looking to get out on the road, get to Unlimited RV. Find your next RV today at unlimitedrv.com.
Hi, this is John with Pyramid Roofing. When it comes to protecting your home or business, experience and trust matter. For more than 30 years, Pyramid Roofing has protected Kansas City homes with top quality materials and expert craftsmanship built to withstand tough winters and the hottest summers. If you think your roof may have damage, let my team take a look and give you an honest assessment. Call 816-966-1101 or visit pyramidroofingkc.com. Pyramid Roofing, your home deserves the best.
All month long, get hog wild at Zarda Barbecue. Dine in, drive through, or pick it up curbside. The Hog Wild sandwich features thinly sliced ham, fresh pulled pork, melted provolone, and 2 strips of bacon on a toasted Roma bun for just $7.99. Add a side of Zarda's world-famous beans or some crispy home-style fries, you got yourself a meal. Come to Zarda Barbecue today for the Hog Wild sandwich, available for a limited time, just $7.99. Zarda Barbecue, come get some.
Looking for the biggest blockbusters on the biggest screen?
All right, our Twin Peaks end of the hour answer. France failed to become the 3rd country ever to have made the World Cup final 3 times in a row. Who are the 2 countries who did it?
I'm thinking Brazil. They went back-to-back, so Brazil.
There's one, 1994, 98, and 2002.
Italy?
Nope.
I'm sorry.
Early
what's
on,
the question?
Uruguay or Paraguay, one of the Guays.
Nope. So, Todd, France failed to become the 3rd country ever to have made the World Cup final 3 times in a row. Only 2 countries have done it. One's Brazil.
It has to be Argentina because I think I've named all the
West Virginia. I mean, West Germany and Germany.
Germany.
There we go.
Okay.
It was called West Germany, West Virginia. Take me home.
West Germany.
And then they called him Germany.
You see, kids, there used to be two Germanys. Like after the war, they divided them up.
Yeah. Which one?
Okay.
After World War II.
Okay.
World War
And then
II.
in '89, the wall came down. That's you go down there and learn something at the Union Station. That's a big display.
Just
right
ask Hurricane next time he calls.
He's got
in.
a
He has a
piece of it.
piece of
Got a piece of the wall.
Berlin Wall.
Yeah.
He was over there serving then, and
I don't know if
the
you're supposed
story
to
on how
take
he
it,
got.
but
Oh yeah. Oh my bad.
no, he said it. He's got it before.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just not supposed to say is what you're telling
Well,
me.
I don't know. I don't know if they were just wanting everyone to take a piece of it, but
The story on how it got back here is
hey,
a good one.
they didn't want me to take dirt off the mound after the Royals won the World Series in '85 either. But I did that too.
Oh,
I didn't have to get on a plane to do it. I just drove it home.
ran down there with your hot dog cart
I'm
in
gonna tell
front
you
of you
something.
and
They didn't want
hot dog tray.
They didn't want Anderson and Steven St. John to bring home turf from the Super Bowl in Miami.
But they did.
And they did.
Say,
And TSA were like, "What's in this bag?"
Anderson brought me confetti. I have confetti from it.
Yeah, the confetti was different.
Yeah.
We do need to say
Salvador Perez,
Salvador
congratulations,
Perez.
317. That's
317.
tied George Brett for the all-time
Well,
Royals
that
home
sound
run lead.
later in the show. And then Kyle sent us this. Harold Kuntz from Fox 4 says the guy who got the ball jumped in the fountain. Did he jump in the fountain to get the ball?
No, he caught it, then jumped
And then jumped in the fountain. Then he got arrested. They took the ball from him.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Come on, dude.
You
Think.
can't do that.
He just cost himself jerseys and bats
And
and,
he's
balls.
wearing a Salvi jersey, too.
Oh, wow.
He was ready to celebrate.
Celebrate.
Oh, I see what you did there.
That's worth a win or
Well
loss
done.
in the feud.
Well done. Yeah, 317 for Salvador Perez. One more, and then he can take off.
Probably not going to happen here. Going to happen in Detroit or Minnesota. Because
I don't know.
they're leaving.
He hits them in bunches.
All right, since the StatCast era began in 2016, who are the only 3 players to record 30-plus 5-star catches? Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
Talking to the guys at the Plumbing Pro today. If you got a plumbing problem or maybe you need a new bath or shower, the one to know is the Plumbing Pro. Find them online at theplumbingpro.com. Wrapping up a little new bathroom. Looks fantastic. They've done an amazing job. Thank you very much. Great customer service. Great craftsmanship. It looks beautiful. So putting the finishing touches on that. The Plumbing Pro, the one to know. You can find them online at theplumbingpro.com for all things plumbing. Timmy.
Hey, what's up, buddy? Yeah, I'll be calling the Plumbing Pro here in the next couple of weeks as the rotation of Grunhardts living in my house in Prairie Village hit another benchmark as my mom started there, and then my son CJ, and then Colin, and now Cassie.
Okay.
Every time we call the Plumbing Pro to kind of get some things straightened out. For some reason, those kids, they're rough on toilets and showers and sinks.
Okay.
They're just rough on them.
Okay. I'm glad you added the showers and sinks because we're going to be like, what are you feeding them, Tim?
Yeah. They do. The Plumbing Pro comes in. They do a great job of kind of getting things straightened out. We do it every time. And then, of course, whenever we have any issues at our house, which we don't have a lot because we've been using the Plumbing Pro for like 25 years, and they fix it so well that, you don't, maybe too well. Hey, guys, quit fixing stuff so good because then I don't have to call you.
Well, I will tell you that when we redid our house, the plumbing did not get done well. So we are, like every year, we've got something. One by one, the things that get fixed are taken care of. But, yeah, I have no doubt I'm going to be calling again soon.
Well,
it just is my life until I get every single piece of plumbing replaced. But I at least finally have somebody I know I trust.
A good mechanic and a good plumber are two things you got to have.
I would agree.
Got to have them.
Tim, have you seen the renderings of the domed stadium?
I have, and now it's real. I mean, I know it's not going to look exactly like this. And I listened to you guys, and I thought you guys did a great job of breaking it down. There's going to be some tweaks here, some tweaks there. Whether they're going to bring the grass out on a platter or a plate, whatever they call that thing when they slide it on out.
Like platter.
Yeah, a
platter or plate.
Just bring it on a platter.
Tray.
You guys said tray, right?
That's how I've usually heard it referred, but I like
tray,
platter.
But I do think that they should have natural grass. It's going to be a challenge, obviously. If they don't have that plate, platter, or tray that slides out the grass. So that's something they're going to have to deal with. I did see another person on X say, it's going to be like a greenhouse in there. It's going to be so hot. They have that figured out. You're not going to be in there.
It's called air conditioning.
Yeah,
the greenhouse gets hot because they don't cool it.
Yeah. So I saw something like that. I'm thinking, some people are just a bitch and a bitch. It's a double-edged sword for me. I loved Arrowhead Stadium. Listen, for lack of a better term, I grew up there. That's where I played. That's where I played all my games. I envisioned myself going back with my grandkids and walking into the stadium that I played at. And,
that you built.
Showed my name on the ring, and then when you go into a stadium like that, I'm sure you guys have had this, whether you played high school sports or even Pop Warner or Little League baseball.
I think there's probably no chance that whatever you're about to say,
there is.
I experienced.
Now, when you drive by Shawnee Mission Park, you can take a look at the place on the field where you truck that one center when you were playing nose tackle.
There's no.
You like? So I look at the field and I think of certain plays, I think of certain events, I think of certain things that happen, and now all those things will kind of go away because it's going to be gone. But I am not a bitter non moving the stadium guy. I think it's a good thing. I think it's needed. All the things that you guys talked about with NCAA championships and concerts and conventions and everything else that you can do in that venue will be good for Kansas City. So it's bittersweet. I will miss the old Arrowhead. I will miss the memories of old Arrowhead. But I get it. I understand it. And as far as the renderings, I think it's cool that they're trying to kind of keep a little bit of the Arrowhead feel to it.
I do too. I don't know why. I've heard people say, well, it looks like Arrowhead with just a roof over it. I'm like, well, isn't that what half the people wanted was Arrowhead? I mean, like, are we, is this, I don't understand when I hear what did you think it was going to look like? I mean, it's a football stadium. There's not that many different things you can do.
It doesn't look like that crap hole in St. Louis. I promise you that.
Yeah. I mean, the Minnesota one's a pretty striking looking dome.
Yeah.
The Jerry Dome I mean, I've heard people, Todd called it iconic a little bit ago, and I'm like, well,
I don't know about
it's
that.
giant. I mean, I think it's beautiful on the inside. I mean, when I went down there, it was last year of Alex Smith starting when I went down there, when the Chiefs went down there. And it was actually the last double-digit loss the Chiefs had for like 7 years. And when I was there, I walked in and I wanted it to suck. I wanted the toilets to not work. I wanted something to be bad. And I'm like, we went in early to walk around and look at everything. And I'm like, I got to admit, guys, I'm a little pissed. And they're like, why? What's the deal? I go, because the place is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to be able to crap on it. I wanted to be able to be like, this place sucks, but tons of concessions. Don't wait long for anything. The video board is overwhelming. I mean, if you want to say it's too big, okay, I'd listen to that. But yeah, it was fantastic. And so that's the one thing I hope is that this is like that as well, that the amenities are there for the fans. Is it a bad thing that the clear roof, you can see the flyovers, they can still do flyovers? I don't know. I think that's probably Clark's want. Would be my guess.
It's definitely what Clark wants.
And is that a bad thing? Do you hate that idea? I mean, I do love that we've got a strong military presence with a number of different bases of a number of different forces around here. So, I like the flyovers.
We have one of the best Air Force bases over at Whiteman, and then the Big Red One over outside of Manhattan. The Army base out there. I mean, you're exactly right.
St. Joe with the C-130s.
Yeah, well, you and I.
Yeah, we love that.
We did.
Those guys are great.
We did a simulator there. Remember?
We did. I've done a lot of things. I went up
with the governor.
I went up in one of the planes and watched him drop stuff out of the back. And
you
went
up in a plane?
Went up, and I also was in the cockpit when they landed. Buckled in and everything. I was
cool,
legit, but yeah, it was fantastic. It's one of my favorite experiences I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, you go up there.
Colonel Clark, shout out. He retired, but
you gonna go up there again this year, or is that kind of?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Things change and people do different things, but those guys are great. All of them. We got other, whether it's Leavenworth or where you want to go.
Ton of them.
So I do like that. I mean, I think that's kind of a cool deal. I hope they find a way to, maybe they can roll some doors open and give it a little indoor-outdoor feel. If you're not going to do a rolling roof, maybe you can open the ends and maybe we get a little bit of a breeze going through there or something. I don't know. I'm excited to see what they can come up with. I do think I think being selected as the engineering and the architecture, because I think there's a couple of different firms, some are more engineering than architecture, others are more architecture than engineering, and they made the choices, but there's some pressure. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Don't screw up your hometown. This one needs to be stellar.
I will tell you, there's a little bit of that kind of like, pump your chest and, say, hey, listen, we had those playoff games and it was so cold. The Colts game that I played in, a playoff game, and of course a couple of years ago the Miami game that was so cold. But the reality was it was brutally cold and it was dangerous outside.
People lost fingers and toes this last year.
I was actually doing something at KU, and I was talking to one of the nurses that was in the ward there, and she was on call that day and got called in, and she said, you would not believe how many people came from Arrowhead that were losing toes and fingers and all kinds of things like that. So, I get it. People think, we're tough, and I was at the game, and I bundled up, and I was on the club level, and I was going up and trying to keep warm during the game, but the people that were sitting up in the 300 level, I actually pounded the drum at the third quarter, and I stood up there for about 10 minutes, and I thought, man, I'm going to die. That was as cold as I've ever been, and it's dangerous. So, you know what, to get a dome in there, it's a little bit safer. You can bring your kids to a playoff game. You don't have to worry about all the crap of getting cold, and and I know people, oh, no, it's tough. That's part of what football is all about.
Well, if you want to be tough, then get rid of the car. Okay,
take a horse. You could be Amish or Mennonite. Take a horse and carriage
to
it.
Buggy and turn your air conditioning off. I mean, they used to be tough enough to not have air conditioning.
I grew up with air conditioning. Did you grow up with air conditioning?
Yes.
Yeah, we did not. Yes. My dad was way too cheap for air conditioning. Way too cheap. And we had a 3-story house. I was on the 3rd floor. We had a fan that sat in the window in the summer. I'm not saying, it's tougher than anybody else. I mean, it's just the way it was.
No, but my point is, I just we technologically advanced so that we don't have to, live in huts.
And that's where we're at Arrowhead.
I don't live in a hut, and I don't want to watch my game in one either.
And you know what? There's about 20-25% of the people that will never be happy with anything that happens. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. And then there's probably about 25, 30, 35 that are kind of in a wait and see. And then there's the other 25, 35, 40% that, whatever, they do, they're going to be behind it. So you're never going to please, a third of the people. You don't have to worry about pleasing the other third. It's the ones in the middle that we got to swing.
Where did this third thing come from? I thought the phrase, I think you're talking about Abe Lincoln's, you can please some of the people all the time or all the people some of the time, but you can't please them all the time.
No, I was thinking of Lou Holtz, actually, where it said that
he's going into thirds.
90%.
Listen here, Timmy. You got 3/16 of the people that are this.
Yeah.
You got an eighth of them that are
He
this.
used to say, 80% of the people don't care if you got problems. The other 20% are happy you got them. So I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear that you're worried about what you're doing in class. You just get your ass over and study after practice. Don't be telling me that you got issues with the professor because 80% of the people don't care and the other 20% are happy you got it. So there you go. I heard that speech many times. But, Coach, I don't want to hear it. Coach, I don't want to hear it. Oh, boy.
He was not a big man either.
No, he was not.
To be barking around at a big old football team was
he had that
pretty
pipe,
entertaining.
He had that pipe in his mouth and a hat on. The hat was oversized. He would have those oversized hats before they were cool. They're big hats.
Yeah, big hats.
That's what his hat looked like. And he had a pipe sticking out of his mouth. And to this day, I'm sure people out there, maybe your grandparents smoked or they smoked pipes or whatever. Whenever I smell somebody smoking a pipe, I turn around. It's just like a Pavlov's dog. I know I'm going to get yelled at. Or, oh my gosh, Coach is close. He's close. He's watching what we're doing because you can smell him before you can see him. That's for sure. But getting back to Arrowhead, yeah, you know what? I'm so glad. I'm so glad that they're going to keep a little bit of the kind of the old feel of Arrowhead. And I think that made me happy when I saw that today.
Yeah, I'm just glad we're moving forward and getting things going. I don't want to be hearing that there's problems or something.
Why are you staring at my face? Are you staring at this hole in my face? Because you keep looking at
the I'm trying to look in the eye. The microphone was blocking it.
So as you guys remember, a couple of weeks ago, I was filling out the paperwork to go see my dermatologist, and then today they took a little thing off my face, and I had to do a little podcast thing, and they're like, take that Band-Aid off because it looks stupid on the video. So I took it off, and now it won't stick on. So it was hanging off my face. Sren was staring at me and kind of like. I could tell it was distracting him. So now I pulled it off, and now there's a big hole in my face. And I think, are you staring at the hole in my face?
You went from looking like an idiot to disgusting me.
Yeah.
I mean, first you just looked like a fool with this Band-Aid dangling off your face.
Now I have a disgusting hole in my face.
Now I can see the wound itself, and I'm
I haven't
sickened.
seen it yet. Is it bad?
Yeah. It's not.
Well,
pretty.
I better go get a Band-Aid. When's our
ugly.
next break?
I'll go grab you one, Tim.
You're
I think we got
permanently
some.
disfigured, Tim.
You know what she said to me?
The
She's
fake
like,
shoulders, the fake elbows, the fake knees, all that. This is way worse.
This is way worse.
Yeah.
I will tell you, she's like, don't worry about it. I know you like to grow a beard, and it's not going to affect, growing the beard. There won't be like a circle there where no hair will grow. It might be a little bit thinner. I said, well, listen, with this beautiful face, nothing could affect it. I said, I just make sure that I'm as beautiful when I come out as I was when I came in. She said, you will definitely be that.
Okay.
So there you go.
But so no upgrade.
There's no upgrade, but there's no downgrade.
I think the fact that pus is oozing from it.
There's no pus.
Is something you might
What
want to.
did you call me? The guy from.
Said you were Chet in Weird Science when he gets turned into the troll and like pus is shooting out of his
If
back.
there's pus shooting out of this thing, I got some major issues. I got to go back.
Yeah. I think.
There's not pus.
It doesn't look good.
It's not supposed to look good. I just had it done about an hour ago.
You just hit iPhone with a squirt of pus out of that thing. It's.
iPhone would be so lucky. He'd be so lucky to get some of Tim Grunhard, Hall of Fame center's pus on his leg.
We'll take a break on that note. Come back. There's no coming back from that. We'll reset and talk a little Chiefs football with Tim Grunhard next here in the program.
All right, our La Feta Delicatessen end of the hour answer. Since the StatCast era began in 2016, only 3 players have recorded 30-plus 5-star catches. Who are they?
I got one.
And since 2016, you said?
Yeah.
One that did it the fastest and like in less than half, or maybe.
Yeah, you're right.
Less than half of amount of games as the other people. Innings, I guess would be.
I don't know. I don't have any idea.
Yeah, nothing.
Cub player.
Well, I figured it was a Cub, but I don't know what Cubs.
Pete
Crow already?
Pete Crow, yeah.
Wow.
He's
Pete
leading.
Crow Armstrong leads the way with 33 5-star catches. He did that in 3,244 innings. The next guy on the list got 32, but it took him 8,939 innings.
Who is the next guy?
Kevin Kiermaier, now
Okay.
retired, I believe.
Yeah, he
and
was pretty
then
good.
third is Max Kepler. Took
Yeah.
him 9,000 innings.
Max Kepler. Well, I wouldn't have had Max Kepler up there.
I didn't either, yeah.
Okay. I'll go with it. I'll take it.
Take that one.
I'll take it. A little La Feta Italian Delicatessen. I'll definitely take that. LaFetaDeli.com. Order it up right now.
Right now.
If you're going to get a little catering, remember, you got to give them a little time, 24 to 48 hours, because everything is fresh. Wonderful sandwiches. I really encourage you to go check them out. Great names on them, all of them, named after musical bands and whatnot, but the sandwiches are delightful. Every single sandwich I've ever had is great. Go get them. The best sandwich in town is at La Feta Italian Delicatessen. Buy them online at LaFetaDeli.com. See them in person at 143rd and Metcalf. Tim, the Chiefs offseason was given a C+ by Seth Walder at ESPN. You okay with that? Did you hear the conversation? You might have been getting your face cut on.
I was getting my face cut off, at that point. I did not hear your conversation, but I did read and look up some stuff on that today. Free agency, the Chiefs did a little bit. They were able to bring in, obviously, Kenneth Walker, and they brought in a couple
Fields, Louis Gilman at safety.
I had the list here, and for some reason my notes are not popping up on it.
Couple of corners,
and then Fields, obviously at the quarterback position, and then they lost some guys, but I really think what it comes down to it's as far as the roster itself. It's all so much predicated on is Patrick Mahomes going to be back to the Patrick Mahomes that we all thought he was going to be? Can he rebound? Can he play at the level that we all expect him to play at?
Let me ask you this. How important is the backup quarterback? Because, our conversation, I've said for a number of years, and I don't mind that they didn't go get this guy, but Marcus Mariota is a guy that I would love to have seen Andy Reid get his hands on.
Yeah.
But I think he signed for $7 million. And you paid $14 million. They basically their cost is going to be $3 million on Justin Fields, and they're paying $14 million for Kenneth Walker. That's $7 million. If you'd had to gone $8 million to get who I just said, Marcus Mariota,
yep.
And you could get Tyler Algier, who signed with the Cardinals, and then they drafted Love out of Notre Dame.
Right.
Now, they may not have thought Love was going to be their guy, and they fell in love with.
They're still paying James Conner.
Yeah, and they're still paying James Conner. I mean, I would rather have not. And what did Algier sign for? Like 7, didn't he?
It was 2 for
14 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually 7.
Even a guy ran into other people for a living for a while.
Yeah,
I can figure that one out.
Yep.
I'm gonna double check it, but I would rather have had that combination of $17 million than the Fields and Kenneth Walker. Would you? But that's only if you and listen. I'm the guy who quotes all the time. The old Colts OC. Not Howard Mudd.
You talking about
Tom? What was his name? Tom. The old Colts OC for Peyton Manning. And when Ron Jaworski went down and asked him, like, "Hey, Peyton Manning's taking all the reps. Aren't you going to give any of the backups?" And
Jim Bob.
What was it?
Jim Bob Cooter.
No. It's not
no.
Jim
What
Bob Cooter.
Didn't he become the head coach then?
No. He said, "Listen, if 18 goes down, we're effed, and we don't practice effed."
Right.
And I think there's a lot of truth in that. Like you're all in when you pay a quarterback that much. You really can't afford to then let's layer it on with another expensive backup and another expensive backup.
Tom Moore.
Tom Moore, thank you. Like I knew it was Tom. So I understand, but man, like I like my frustration with this year's offseason is last year's and the previous year's offseason. My frustration is Trey Smith and Nick Bolton were expensive players at positions that are much easier to replace than a Trent McDuffie. I don't even mind the Trent McDuffie trade. I'm fine if you hadn't given those guys the money and you traded them for picks. Like what I love about Trent McDuffie is they didn't let him walk out the door. They traded him for picks when he was at the maximum point of getting returns. Mm-hmm. And if you'd have done that with Trey Smith the year before, I mean, you might have gotten a first-round pick or a second-round pick, and you might have already had your running back because you would have taken him in the second round, and you wouldn't need to give $14 million, to Kenneth Walker because you took him in the second round, but the second-round pick you got for trading Trey Smith. And if you traded Nick Bolton for a third or fourth, you might have, the answers that you were looking for. You might have a good young backup quarterback right now, a good, prospect. You might have the Tyler Shuck from the Saints. I mean, I think he went in the third or fourth round. And if you'd taken him, now you've got those answers, and that's $17 million you have to spend someplace else.
Right. I agree with that.
So my frustration, I think, is what makes it so hard for a guy like Seth Walder to, parachute in at this moment in time on 32 teams and say, okay, here's the thing about their offseason. Well, all their off seasons were shaped by what they've done the years before.
Right. Yep.
And I think the Chiefs needed to learn to hold their water on some contracts, and I'm hoping that's what they do forward. I can bring up, I've said it a million times, but the Chris Jones contract, definitely the third one, based on how he's played at this point, should not have been signed. And what could you have gotten if you'd have traded Chris Jones?
Yeah. As far as going back to the second team quarterback, they're a need, not a luxury. You need one in case your quarterback goes down, and usually when the second team guy goes in, you are kind of blanked. It's just kind of the way it is. And Tom Moore was exactly right. When you have a superstar like a Peyton Manning, a Tom Brady, Joe Montana, a Patrick Mahomes, when they go down, you're that insurance policy of a quarterback like Justin Fields, that's exactly what it is. It's an insurance policy. You hope you never have to use it, but you're glad you have it. And that's kind of the way second team quarterbacks. I don't want to go through names of guys, but I never had a lot of success when second-team quarterbacks came in when I was playing, other than maybe Rich Gannon. And Rich Gannon probably should have been the starter, and it was like 1 and 1A with those two. But most of the time in all the career, from all the quarterbacks I went through in 11 years, when the second-team guy came up, it just usually did not have a lot of good feel to it. The huddle wasn't the same. The timing wasn't the same. And obviously, after maybe 4 or 5 games, 6 games, if you were going to work with that guy, you can get a little bit of that there, but there's a reason why they're the backup quarterback.
Right.
And so as far as Justin Fields, I have no issue with bringing Justin Fields in. He's a guy that he's played before.
I think it's the best they could do when they blew as much money as they did on the running back position.
Absolutely.
And what's frustrating about that is that the year before, Javonte Williams was $2.5 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
He was $2.5 million for 1 year. J.K. Dobbins was 2.5 for 1 year. If you'd have been like, okay, we'll give you 3 for 7.5 or 3 for 9, maybe you take a little bit more because they're like, no, this is a prove-it contract. I'm going to go get the big bucks, which Javonte Williams did. But if you'd have signed one of those guys for multiple years, then you wouldn't be throwing this money out. And by the way, you'd have been better that year.
Yeah, I think that, listen, I'm excited about having Kenneth Walker in the locker room. I'm excited to see him on the field, but to your point, I do think it was a lot of money to put into a running back. I was hoping that they could move up and get somebody in the draft. I was hoping they'd go and get Love in the draft, but obviously they weren't going to use that kind of draft capital to move up that far. But they needed to find a running back who could come in here and take a little bit of pressure off of Patrick Mahomes. And hey, listen, what it really comes down to, we could talk about personnel, we could talk about coaching, we could talk about all those kind of things, but the Kansas City Chiefs have just got to be better psychologically when it comes to in 2024 they were 11-0 in games decided by 7 points. Last year in 2024 they're 1-9. Everything comes back to the mean. I don't think they're going to be 11-0 again, but they cannot afford to be 1-9 again in 10 games. They got to find a way to win more than half of those close games, and that comes down to execution from the quarterback, it comes down to execution from the coaching staff, and it comes down to execution, obviously, from the defense to limit scores at the end of games. But the reality is the Chiefs did not do a good job of that. if in the first meeting, if I was a head coach, that's what I'd bring up and say, guys, we have got to be better in closer games, because the NFL guys, for everybody out there, the dirty little secret, and it's not even a secret, they're all set up to be this way. It's the teams that win the close ones. And I don't want to hear, the Chiefs were lucky. They won 11 in a row, or they were 11-0 in 2024. Well, their preparation, their talent, and the schemes and everything else kept them close, and they were able to win those games. Last year, they weren't able to do that. You got to find that happy space. You got to find that opportunity to win those closer games. What does that take? It takes an offense that can put points up, and obviously a defense that can limit things at the end of a game. And if you don't have those things and you lose and you're 1-9 in those games, you're not going to make the playoffs, and you're not going to be a winning football team. It really comes down to the way the NFL is set up for everybody to be fairly equal and all the games to be close. You got to win those close games.
Yeah, I would agree. And when you're not winning them, it means that your offense is no longer able to score on time.
Right.
It means you're having a hard time getting down the field for points. And I think it also means that you're when you've got that many, you ought to get a couple that you win by 2 scores.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing about when their 24 season was like every game they couldn't put anybody away. I mean, it was amazing what they did. They should be very proud of it. It took a lot of heart, guts, and all those things. But man, if you got Kenneth Walker and he slips away for 55 yards and a touchdown, that 1-score game's now 2 scores, and it plays out differently. I mean, if your defensive tackle can blow somebody up on the inside, you get a sack strip and you get on the ball,
right.
You finish off the game by kicking a field goal, like they didn't have explosive plays on either side of the ball for the last couple of years.
Yeah, and and it comes down to, it gets into your head too. It's just like a batter, all of a sudden you go into a streak and you're like 1 for 22 or 23. Every time you go up to the plate, you're trying to figure out what the heck am I doing wrong here, and you're overthinking it. And you look at with the Chiefs last year, in 2024, they didn't throw the interceptions at the end of the game like Patrick Mahomes did. And he was forcing things. He was trying to make things happen when they weren't there. You look at the defensive guys, Chris Jones, a famous play, obviously, against the Chargers down in Brazil. Instead of keeping contained, he wants to go get a sack. He's doing his own thing. He goes inside. And Herbert runs outside and gets a first down and seals the game and wins the game.
Or buying a ticket and watching Trevor Lawrence waltz into the end zone.
Yeah, absolutely. Little things like that you've got to improve on. You got to do, Marty used to say all the time, you got to do the little things. And we'd laugh at it, and he'd have all the same, phrases and sayings all the time, but they really hit home when you don't win those close games. You got to do the little things. You got to go to the next play. You got to do all the things that you need to do on every play, because you never know in the game of football when that play is going to show up. That's the great thing about football. You just never know. Okay, there's probably, we talk about it all the time. We'll talk about it 1,000 times coming up here in the next 4, 5, 6 months, is each game comes down to really about 5 or 6 plays. Who wins those 5 or 6 plays? And the Chiefs did not do a good job last year of winning those plays, those 5 or 6 plays that you have to win in order to win the football game. Why didn't they? Because the attention to detail wasn't quite there. I don't care. You could talk about all kinds of different situations, all kinds of different things. But when you're trying to force a ball because maybe the wide receiver didn't run the right route, or you're trying to get a sack and you're trying to do too much and you lose contain, or you miss a field goal or something, all those little things that you have to do right in order to win a football game in the NFL, the Chiefs did not do a good job of that last year, and that's got to be the point of emphasis for training camp this year.
Yeah, I think I agree, and it did all the little things. After doing all the little things to seemingly win all these close games the year before, how much of that is just this was an exhausted team?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of that, too. I think both mentally and physically exhausted.
I'm not trying to say that there was nothing wrong. They obviously moved on from Matt Nagy. They decided this has gotten stale. They changed the wide receiver coach, changed the running back coach. They've made personnel. I mean, you always got to be trying to get better. I'm not trying to say it was all that, but I think there was some of the inadequacies that they had in coaching and players and scheme. I think Andy Reid's scheme's got to get better. But I think also they were they've gone all the way to the end virtually so many times in a row, that has to wear you out.
But
to
they
some
were,
degree.
I agree with that. They're exhausted physically, but I think even mentally, and I think the message from the coaches got a little bit stale. It got a little exhausting to listen to. That's why I like the idea of bringing in some newer coaches, some newer blood to bring it in and kind of get back and get that kind of juice going again, get that mojo going again. I thought Andy Reid lost his mojo a little bit last year. Maybe it's because of the guys that he was working with, that maybe he didn't quite wasn't on the same page as some of the guys. I don't know. But the reality is that you bring in some new blood and you bring in some new juice and you bring in some guys, Bieniemy, the wide receiver coach, and you bring in guys that are going to bring a little bit of an attitude. Sometimes a team needs to get hit by a 2x4 across the head to wake up a little bit, and I think that they did that a little bit this year. Now we'll see if that equates into wins or not.
I do think the one thing that what I was talking about with Seth about their roster being, he called them number 12 in roster, is at the wide receiver position. I mean, they got Cyrus Allen, and I am optimistic that he's going to be an Albert Wilson type. Maybe I'm way underselling him, and we're going to be like, oh my God, this is the new Antonio Brown. Like, this guy is the one, not the end of Antonio Brown, but the really good Pittsburgh Steeler wide receiver part of Antonio Brown, that we're going to be like, holy cow, this kid was a complete diamond in the rough. But I think he's going to be a good receiver. But they didn't really address it. And
no,
there are several spots. There are 3 spots. Like Juju Smith-Schuster played like 52% of the snaps. Hollywood Brown played 50% of them.
Yeah, both.
They did not replace either one. The replacement for them is Cyrus Allen for both of them. So I want to be clear. That's 100+% of one of your receiver spots, right? That is gone, and you're bringing back the same guys,
right?
That did not do a very good job around them. Let's be clear. They may have had some moments. And so the guys that you thought last year were better are gone, and now you're going to play with the guys that you don't think are as good. So there's a lot on Shadow Shea to make those guys better. It's a lot on those guys to get their heads out of their rear end. And it's maybe that, like, maybe Andy was playing the wrong guys. I don't know. I mean, all those are the factors of like, okay, if they're better at wideout, why? We're going to immediately run at Shadow Shea because that's the new receivers coach, and we're gonna point to him. But it's going to be all those other factors as well. But then the other thing is, I know Juwan Taylor is always going to remember as a guy has way too many penalties and jumping off sides and all that. When he didn't get a penalty, he could pass protect. Wasn't much of a run blocker, but he could pass protect. Well, you said all last year he's better than Jalen Moore.
Yeah.
And so now you're going to play the lesser guy.
Right.
And we're either going to look back and Jalen Moore's going to play a lot better, and we're going to be like, why did they stay with Juwan Taylor all that time?
Absolutely.
Because there was no draft pick to be had. He was not a free agent. He was a cap cut.
Right.
So you stayed with a guy that never had any chance of contributing to your gaining an additional draft pick. Like, I will say this. I know Andy Heck's a friend of yours and everything, a fellow Golden Domer. But it's not going to look good for either Jalen or for Andy Heck or Matt Nagy or Andy Reid, frankly, if Jalen Moore goes out there and balls out. What was going on?
Yeah.
Like, where was the accountability? You had ample reason to bench him and play somebody less than him just because of the constant same penalties. And you didn't do it, which we can only presume. And you tell me, I'm assuming everybody in that huddle either knew that Jalen Moore can't go, or they were sitting there going, why is Juwan Taylor still out here? Like, what is freaking going on?
Well, no, that conversation definitely happened. Now, I don't know which, flavor it was, whether, he wasn't any good and, they knew it, or they knew that he was good and he wasn't playing. But either way, the discussion certainly was had on the offensive line. We used to have it. We were pretty solid everywhere but the right tackle position. We had some guys that rotated in and out of that position. There was times when we said, hey, a prime example, Glenn Parker, who came here from Buffalo, he came here as a guard. And, listen, Glenn Parker's got to go out and move out the right tackle. He's too good of a football player to be, kind of being that sixth man. And when he went in there, gosh, the guy won the MVP of the team. That's a great trivia question. I think it was like 1998 or 99. The MVP of the Kansas City Chiefs was an offensive lineman, and Glenn Parker, who moved from a guard to a right tackle and had an all-pro type of year.
And a couple years later, I was sticking a microphone in his face at the Super Bowl as he was starting for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Or no, the Giants. He was starting for the Giants.
Or the Giants, yeah. And, so those conversations, listen, players are human. They talk. You're sitting there at breakfast in the morning, and you're like, hey, why isn't this guy playing? This guy really should be playing. He's a much better player. I don't understand it. Believe me, we had the conversation many times in 1997 when Elvis Grbac and Rich Gannon were playing. Rich Gannon was having a great 4 or 5 games, and Elvis was ready to come back. And we understood that Marty's decision was always, listen, you can't lose your job by injury, but you got to go with the hot hand. So we had that conversation, and everybody says, well, Grunny, you said on the radio, and you also said, been to the media that Elvis Grbac is your starter, and that's the guy that you wanted in there. I had no choice because we knew that was going to happen. If I would have said no, Rich Gannon's got to play, then that would have really destroyed the locker room. That really would have destroyed the chemistry, the karma of the game, of the team. But the reality of the offensive tackle being talked about in the offensive line, that happens. Every position, you believe me, guys are human. They're talking about it. They're discussing, why isn't this guy playing? Why is that guy playing? Why aren't we playing doing these things? And, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes, it could turn into, kind of separating and fracturing the locker room. But the reality is that it does happen. So to answer your question, guys are talking about it. And, like Cleo Benson, he's going to get a shot. I'm just telling you guys that's my camp darling this year. I want to watch how this guy.
He hadn't even gotten to camp, and you've already put the wig on him.
I'm on him. That's my guy. I want to see how he does. I like the way that he plays. I like his attitude. I think he's smart. I think he's physical. He's got a very good athlete. He may get out there and get his ass kicked. I mean, it happens. But the reality is that's who I want to watch. So if you're going up to training camp and you're looking for, hey, what a couple things you want to look for, that starts, by the way, in a couple of days here when the quarterbacks and the rookies report and then the veterans report a couple of days later. If you're going up to St. Joe, look at that battle. Watch him and see how he does, and see if he's going to be a guy that's going to battle for that right tackle position. And if he does, then what are we doing here? We got basically a rookie free agent that's starting at right tackle.
I mean, not Glenn Park. You've got Glenn Parker in my head. Who's the starting right tackle in the 22
for the Chiefs?
He went on to Washington. He came from Cleveland.
Andrew Wiley.
Andrew Wiley. Yeah,
you'd have an Andrew Wiley situation.
Absolutely,
and that would be great because you'd have 2 cheap offensive tackles. That would give you a lot of money to splash around in other places over the next coming years.
Yeah, that's the Patriot way. Get a young guy, develop him, and that's the way you really have to do it. I mean, it's feast or famine right now in the NFL with the salary cap. You're always going to have the high-paid guys. The key is to find those low-paid guys that can play. And if you can find those not low-paid, it's all relative. But if you can get a guy that's not going to count very much against the cap, and he's starting for 3 or 4 years for you, those rookie contracts are something that you got to live with. You got to find guys that get on the rookie contracts, and then you see what happens. Like guys like Wiley and guys like who's the guy from Chicago? I'm drawing a blank on his name. To the guard, it started with an A. He went to Washington also. He went to
Nick Allegretti.
Nick Allegretti. Thank you. Thanks, Kyle. You're helping us out today.
Illinois.
I know. Yeah, Nick Allegretti is another guy, but Nick, he left this system and left this offensive line, and he hasn't really lived up to the billing. But he was on that contract and was able to play young, and it helped his team to sign some other guys, and that's what they're looking for. Cleo Benson would be if he can pick up the play and he could play it as a young guy for the next 4 years under his rookie contract. That's the kind of stuff you got to do to win.
If Khalil Benson or Esapole, who was another guy just like him and an undrafted free agent that they brought in, if both of those guys would make it and one of them can start, not even this year, just start in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like getting another 3rd-round pick in this year's draft.
Right, absolutely.
And it's what they need to do to make up for what they traded to go up and get Mansour Lane. They need somebody to come from that undrafted ranks and click. And so Khalil Benson, Tim Grunhard's
that's my
apple of his eye.
Camp Darling.
Camp Darling, there it is. Take a break. More with Tim Grunhard. We might get into a little college football with Timmy. Timmy's always brought to you by our friends at the Plumbing Pro. It won't flush. Hot water's not hot. It's not draining. The one to know is the Plumbing Pro. Find them online at theplumbingpro.com. It is the program here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Petro, Collier, the big guy, he's out. Tim Grunard's in.
I hear.
Football Insider, life coach, Chiefs Hall of Famer, brought to you by our friends at The Plumbing Pro. The one to know is The Plumbing Pro, locally owned and operated since 1980. Don't waste a whole Saturday jerking around trying to fix it yourself.
No,
I'm going to tell you, it's a bad
especially
idea.
college football coming up.
I'm choked up about it.
Yeah, you are. You should be.
I did waste a whole Saturday. It's the worst day of my life. Like screwing around, 5 trips to the. I'm like, well, come on.
And, the back of the toilet, it's not easy to get your hands in there. And, kind of there's all those little pieces, and you got to have it set exactly right. And, you're trying to work, and it's like, just call the Plumbing Pro. They'll get it fixed. They'll get it taken care of. You don't have to mess with it. You don't have to have all kinds of leaks and crap going on.
Nobody likes leaks and crap.
Nobody likes it, especially crap that leaks.
There you go.
Don't want that.
There you go. Well said. Well put, Tim.
Thank
Mark
you.
that one.
Mark it.
Tim, Notre Dame, are you all excited about them being one of the college football favorites?
I am. They're in the top 3 behind Ohio State and Texas. Yeah, I'm liking this team. They went out and got some guys in the transfer portal, and the Keon Keeley's edge rusher from Alabama. They got a couple wide receivers from Ohio. This Graham and Porter, both kids are supposedly good wide receivers. You never know until you get them. Then they got a defensive tackle that I really liked at Pittsburgh. I think it's Francis Bruo or something was his name.
Okay.
And so they went, they went out and they got some guys, and then of course they have a 5-star tight end, Ian Premier from a kid from Texas at the tight end position. They got another 5-star edge guy. So, Freeman does a good job of recruiting, and I kind of wish they'd kind of go the old school way, but it's just not the way it is anymore. And then last year, after missing the playoffs and that whole gig, they said, listen, we're going to go out and we're going to get involved in this portal, and they really did. Whether good, bad, or indifferent, that's kind of what they did. That was their decision. But if you look at, the top 5 or 6 coming out, you got Ohio State, Texas, Notre Dame, Oregon, and Georgia, and then Indiana is 6. It should be a really, really competitive playoff this year. I think there's some really good teams. Georgia gets everybody back. Ohio State's always good. Texas has got the Mannings. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. They play up at Syracuse, the last game of the year. Let's go, me and you.
Notre Dame is?
Yeah. What do you think?
What's the date?
It is November 28th, right after Thanksgiving.
It's after Thanksgiving?
In Syracuse, New York, in the Dome.
Okay. I
go.
could be up for that.
Let's do it.
You really want to?
I do.
Because usually you're all talk. Oh, let's go to this Royals-Giants World Series. I can't go. I can't go.
I went. Not the one in New York, in San Francisco.
Yeah, you went here. Thank you, Tim. Go fix that hole in your face.
All right, earlier this month, Cubs shortstop Dansby Swanson became the 5th player ever to record 26 ribbies in a 10-game span. Name any of the other 4. Brought to you by La Feta Delicatessen.
Fourth quarter of the program begins right now as we finish strong here on a Wednesday hump day. Halfway through the week, past halfway through the week, people. Let's go. See the weekend right around the corner. We can see Paul Gibson right around the corner. Paul Gibson is going to join us to talk some Royals pitching. He is the Senior Director of Pitching Performance. He'll be with us coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Always a great conversation with him. I'm going to talk a lot about Kendry Churio. 5 innings, no hits, 2 walks, 10 Ks. Kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 strikeouts in under 80 pitches. A dominant performance by him. When's he going to get the move to Double-A? We'll talk about those kind of things with Paul Gibson. So looking forward to having that conversation here in just a couple of minutes. First, though, let's get you the things you need to know. You need to know that Sal Perez is now tied with George Brett for the all-time home run, career home run number, 500.
The franchise record.
Franchise record, yeah. The Royals franchise home run record. Let's hear from Matt Quatrero. First of all, was glad to see Salvi get that homer.
First of all, when the ball left the bat, it was impressive. I mean, that ball was crushed to that part of the ballpark. Where we were in the game, that was big, And then I'll get a little emotional talking about it, but just what that means to him and to the city and to the organization. I've said it before, like my age, knowing of George as a fan, and anytime you're in that breath, it's awesome.
Matt, what is it about it that makes you particularly emotional seeing that?
Well, I love that guy. What he does, the way he goes about it, the passion he plays the game, it's unrivaled. The guy's a Hall of Famer and you're getting to witness it. I'm sorry.
How about that?
People say he doesn't show emotion.
Yeah. Listen, I'm nowhere near getting close to calling for him, Matt Quatrero, to be out. I know other people have, but I think that's foolishness. I understand the frustrations, but I just think that to conclude that this guy who's led them to a playoffs and an 82-win season in back-to-back years is like suddenly that he's the problem. I mean, the injuries have been overwhelming. There are things that I don't like. I think there are things they could have done differently in the offseason. I can't stand the constant base running gaffes. That drives me crazy. But I'm also not in the clubhouse or in those meetings, and I don't know what the other forces are at work. But I know Matt Quatrero is a very competent baseball guy, and I think that those emotions are probably ones that he shows in and around the team. And, you hear how much it matters to him. And he mentioned the game. I mean, Salvador Perez helped them win the game. They now won 5 out of 6.
Yeah, and after talking to Eno Saris yesterday, his description of what a good manager is, it's stuff you're not likely to see.
Yeah.
And like you said, in and around the team, he can sort of be that emotional guy.
Yeah, if you're a big baseball fan, we talked to Eno Saris from The Athletic, really smart, analytic-driven baseball guy, very good writer as well.
That's what we call
also, connoisseur of beer. That's right, baseball thinker and a connoisseur of beer. He does like a blog, I think, on beer. Did you know that?
I did not know.
Yeah. He's an interesting cat, man. He really is. I mean, I like talking to him a lot. He's different now than when I first had him on. It was like a number of years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago. Because I remember he wrote a story about Moose and Hosmer making fun of his hair. He was in the clubhouse. And I think he was much more shy. He's been around the clubhouse. I think he's been hired and worked for a team for a little while as well. Anyway, if you missed it, it's in the 5 o'clock hour from yesterday's podcast, a10whb.com. Make sure you got the app, the A10 app. You can always catch the podcast or stream us live anywhere. But he's so thoughtful, and he did. He laid out like, listen, today's manager. I know everybody wants to think it's strategy and all that, but it's like communicating with the media, basically giving them answers so that like the media is not on attack on your organization and your players and everything else. It's like giving them information and doing that, communicating with your players. I mean, he talked about him being a communicator a lot.
He cited that Dave Roberts was the best in the league because he was a chill dude.
I think he said because Dave Roberts is super chill.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think super chill is what the modern player needs. They don't need Lou Piniella flipping the dining spread. And Matt Quatrero's cut from that cloth. So, hey, listen, he'll probably get fired. That's usually how it works with managers. But I will tell you this, he's done enough already that if he is fired, he won't be a bench coach for long. He will be a manager again. His performance, I think, speaks for itself. And again, there may be a day that it's time for him to be fired. The same reason it was time for Andy Reid and the Philadelphia Eagles to part ways. But that time's not right now. But do like hearing the emotion, him talking about Salvador Perez. And that home run was part of a 5-4 win. I don't think we're burying the lead because when you're this far back in the standings, whether they win or lost really isn't relevant. Tying the franchise, career franchise home run record, I think is pretty big. Let's hear some more on that. Salvi was pumped to finally tie that record.
Super excited. All the sacrifice I do, all the sacrifice my family do, my mom, where I coming from, I never expect that, And my teammate, great organization, Kansas City Royals. So I tend them to give me the opportunity, to sign me when I was 16. So very happy, super excited. Hopefully I got more.
A fan jumped in the fountains and left in handcuffs trying to get your ball today.
Oh,
do you
please,
have a
please,
message?
please. Yeah. Please, police. Just take care of the jail, please. Okay? And send him home. If I was saying, I maybe jump too and I try to get that ball. So please. And thank you for the hard work and try to get that ball.
You use a blur. Get the ball?
I don't get it yet. We got
I
it.
think they got it back from
I
him
got it back?
to you. Yeah.
I
So,
hear that he threw it to somebody, to his friend or something like that.
I think they took it from
Yeah,
him.
okay.
Yeah.
You don't get to go in the water and get it. Like, that's not part of the deal. If it lands in your hand, okay, they're going to come out and barter with you. You don't get to go. You don't get to jump down into the bullpen, out wrestle the relievers for it, be like, I got it. I mean, yeah, I'm going to jail, but the ball is mine. That's not how it works. That's Royals property when it's on those spots. It comes into your seats, you get it. I may know who has that ball right now, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I might not either. I think I know where it might be. Probably by now it's in Salvi's hands, I'm guessing. But yeah, first of all, can I just say how much Salvi's English has improved, And I think nobody has I think maybe only David Ortiz has a cooler delivery with the Spanish accent.
Yeah, we just heard a David Ortiz commercial.
Yeah. And Salvi, we said, my mom, like that way he said is play the beginning of that again. Because I love I love the first part when he's thanking everybody.
Super excited. All the sacrifice I do, all the sacrifice my family do, my mom.
I love you, Mom. That's fantastic. I mean,
I liked how he slowed it down because it's kind of similar when he says please and police.
Yeah.
He made him distinct. Yeah, he's getting better. He's getting really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Vinny Pasquantino talked after the game. He knows records like this are more rare in today's game.
Yeah, it's really special seeing that. There's just not a lot of guys that play in one city for that long, so it's super special that there's still a good amount of fans here supporting him, and just he deserves that. So it's very rare in sports for a relationship to be that long. I mean, if you count the minor leagues, he's been in the org for 20 years, or maybe longer, or about that. So it's really special to see.
It was impressive. Seth Lugo also bounced back with a quality game, 7 innings, 3 hits, quality start, I should say. 7 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. He gets his 4th win, and Steven Cruz saved number 1 as he gives up 1 in the 9th to let it go. The bad news for the Royals is Bobby Witt Jr. lands on the IL for the first time. He's on the 10-day with low back tightness, so that is not good. The Royals move Stephen Kolek to the 60-day list. Andrew Velasquez got the call from Omaha. So some good, some bad. Mostly good, though. Salvador Perez tying the record. Look forward to him breaking that record and seeing George Brett out there congratulating him. It would be a special moment